everyone. Welcome to the Browns versus the Steelers. CCA Circuit Finals. I am Kraken Mare, joined by
HoeenHero. And Kraken, this was a hockey game. What are you talking about?
I thought it was I guess we're watching Splatoon or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just saying that we our characters like magically come from, they come from. I don't know. I feel like this is the first time I'm hearing the game though. I don't know where this came from.
I don't know, but we're about to learn what this Splatoon thing is, along with everyone here in YouTube chat. So I hope everyone's doing well. You can explain this to
us. So yeah, we're here to have some fun, folks. We're here in Division 4. We're going to start with a Drexel Gold Splatoon, their B team here, versus a VCU. Why can't I talk today? Woo, it's going to be a great day, Hoeen. Spirality.
Oh, I know.
Spirality.
Don't worry, I'll botch all the names as well.
Oh,
that just happens automatically, so you're not alone.
My brain couldn't comprehend the word. It was just like, nope,
Spirality.
Not even gonna try.
Not today.
But
not allowed.
2 schools here that have multiple teams because VCU also has an additional team. And so it is really, really cool to see multiple teams from different schools. Hey, we got all these players that are super, super excited to play. And here they are in the CCA Circuit Finals after grinding up to 5 different qualifiers. They're here today, made it past day 1, Hoeen, and they're into day 2.
They've definitely done a lot of work to get up here. Really, we'll have to see how things go here today, though, because there's can only be one winner.
So we talked about this before we went live. We're gonna call one of our friends out, Grace, right now. We love you, Grace, first of all. But if Drexel doesn't win, we know you're on the board there of your Splatoon program. I don't know. We're gonna have to. We're pinning it all on you. I'm just kidding. We love you, Grace.
Nah. Put it all on Grace. Come on.
So anywho, we are waiting on our last few folks to hop into the room. We're gonna get going with some fun, and then but we are gonna be starting on Zones Mako Mart. Hoeen, what you got there on Zones Mako Mart? What's some keys?
Very classic mode to say the least. Map mode combo, of course. Looking at some of our stats here, it actually looks like Drexel Gold does overall better in Splat Zones, winning 57.9% of their Splat Zones games. That's their win rate, compared to VCU Spirality having a 45.4% win rate on Splat Zones. So it would seem like just based on that stat, they have the upper hand. But, anything can happen. It's definitely too early to tell. It's game 1 after all, right? We'll have to see what ends up happening.
Yeah, both being really, really close in terms of percentage. But here we go, Hoeen! Day 2 of CCA Circuit Finals! Division 4 starting now, and we start with a couple of trades right off the bat. And, yeah, look at that. Oh, hey! It looks like VCU is going to take a little bit of a numbers advantage.
They're going to dominate the early game here and get control of the zone. And now they're going to go ahead and try to push up. Of course, here comes Drexel to try to stop that here. Looks like we've got a couple strikes coming in to push the zone back. And a hammer. Hammer is going to get the dualies and rotate around to the back here. And Drexel's going to go ahead and take control of the zone there. And we'll see if they can do anything. Well, nope, strikes. Commentator's curse, I suppose.
Strikes plus,
are they going to hold it?
A shark decides to say, nah, we're gonna put a 28-point penalty on you, friends. Even if you can get it back after getting a couple picks, you're gonna have to run through a 28-point penalty. Which zones penalties are mean. They are meaner than any other mode, Hoeen. When they just scale really, really slow down to 50%, while other modes like Clam Blitz, you only get 50%. Rounded down. So It is insane
Yeah,
how
zone
heavy these
definitely
penalties are.
gives you a lot more penalty, to say the least. Spirality was pushed all the way back, almost a full team white there, which gave Drexel the time to get some points on the board. But of course, Spirality coming back in with specials. Again, classic play, that's how you get in. And they're going to go ahead and take control of this zone and push Drexel back. Once again, more specials coming out. Little bit of a missed throw on that strike there to land in front instead of hitting the zone, and this looks like it's not going to do all that much here. We'll have to see how they played out from here.
Right now, numbers disadvantage for VCU, but they still control the zone. That's the key thing, right? You're getting points on the board if you control the zone, but with 2 members going down, that zone's going to flip. And as you mentioned, specials galore. There, another set of strikes came out from the side of Drexel, but counter strikes is going to be enough to take that zone back.
And that's a wipeout for Spirality. This is going to give them the opportunity to push up into Drexel's base and potentially lock them out. And with the lead and the penalty going down rapidly, this might be enough, but it's still too early to tell.
Yeah, very, very early. I'll tell you what, sometimes zones can be a quick knockout mode. It is probably the mode, I think when we did a little bit of research on the side, it ended up being the mode that has the most knockouts of any mode. Which is funny because we talked about the penalty points being so high in this mode. It still has one of the most knockouts. And right now, this is a really close back and forth game. Both teams unable to handle the barrage of specials coming out from the other side. Just zone flip, zone flip, zone flip. Occasional whiteout.
Yeah, mostly just zone flips, but it's pretty standard when you have strikes, because if you place your strikes right, you pop a splashdown as well, right? You can't do much about that. You just got to back off and move back in after, right? So that makes sense why we're having a lot of flips here. Looks like Hacks over here is going to try for a flank, but it's going to get called out. But we do have the splashdown, and they get a double there. Not quite the triple they were going for, though. And Drexel is going to have the time to go ahead and stop the zone and potentially take it here. They do. But they did not have the time to push up, so we'll see how long this holds for, especially with the Reef Slider coming out.
Reef Slider going for kills, not for zone, and it might cost them a chance to hold and cap in there. They does thus far, as it costs the dualies their life, and then their teammate tried to take advantage of it and goes down. But again, we just see these constant flips back and forth, Owen, with 35 seconds remaining. It is a very small penalties and very small lead difference.
Yeah, Drexel almost had a chance to take the lead there. Unfortunately, they got stopped. Now they're going to go ahead and try to do it again, and with only 21-point penalty and an 8-point difference in actual score and an important pick there, they definitely can do this. This is still anyone's game with 15 seconds remaining.
And remind you, there's overtime if there's needed. But it's gonna be another.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. They get the lead. They get the flip, and we go to overtime.
The double on the splash on the wipeout, Owen. They have to rush out of spawn. It's to be very impossible. It's to be really unlikely.
This is going to be extremely close. They're trying to stop. They're trying to stop it. Oh, they do not manage to do it. And Spirality, with a last-second comeback, takes game 1. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and I woke up like 5 minutes ago. Why am I screaming?
Woke up 5 minutes ago.
Like, what?
We've been live for 15 minutes. Were you sleep talking?
Hey, babe. That was awesome, though.
That's impressive.
What a great way to start stream. I mean, you can't ask for a closer game than we just got in this round 1, which is just, what a great start here. Great choice by the staff, because we actually pivoted from a different set, by the way, into this one. And it was the right call, because that was an amazing first game that was so back and forth that I had no clue who was going to win that one.
Yeah, no, that was neck and neck all the way to the end. Honestly, I thought for a minute that Drexel had it, right? 1 second left, but then or a couple seconds, right? The splashdown comes out, and then everything's up in the air. They managed to grab it just in time. And even with that effective wipe and that little amount of time on the clock and them pushing in, right? Drexel still really put up a solid fight, and I think almost had it there in overtime too. That could have gone either way multiple times at the very end. Seriously an enjoyable game.
Yeah, that was awesome. And we had two big splashdowns in that game. We had the one that you commented on that got the nice double, and then they got another double there while they capped the zone last second. So I'll tell you what, it's funny, last night during SAC finals, 9 commented about GG splashdowns that Vapor was using, one of my teammates. And we had GG Splashdown again. It is a trend, folks. GG Splashdown is the way. What that was really, really good, Holland. Those splashdowns. I have to give mad credit to the VCU player with those splashdowns.
Looks like our counter pick is in from Drexel. Drexel has selected Rainmaker on Museum for our next game. Looking at the stats for this, it's pretty even on Rainmaker, at least overall. Drexel has a 57.9% win rate, while VCU Spirality has a 58% even win rate. It's literally 0.1% off. So win rate wise, these teams are neck and neck on this mode. Really, the question is, what do you think they're going to do with this, Kraken? Why do you think they picked this?
So first, I want to go in over the counter pick system, and then I'll get to that, Holland. Just so for anyone at home that has not seen a counter pick system, the first game all day is going to be splat zones on some map that has been chosen by the staff. I don't know if they RNG'd it. It comes from their map pool. There's a specific map pool. I don't know if they RNG'd it or if they manually manipulated it, because as a TO, I've done both. Oh, and I'm sure you've done both. But then after that, there is a list of maps that everyone can choose from. The loser picks that next map. And so in this case, Drexel, as you said, picked Museum on Rainmaker. Some people really like Museum. I find it tends to be very linear. It plays effectively linear. So I'm not a big fan of it. But I think that Drexel wants to kind of use that high ground to their advantage, because there's a lot of areas that you can shoot down on defensively. And I felt like after that last set, where it was very, very defensive, that you're kind of thinking, hey, we can take care of this. And then
that might be true.
Can use some of that range to try to get some of that high ground.
Maybe. Well, let's see here. Yeah. So we were informed a little earlier, I don't know if you saw it, that Drexel's subbing in their Sploosh player for this match. So I'm not sure if your ideas fit in here, like no range at all, just like you, right? But we'll see how they play that. We'll keep somewhat of an eye on the Sploosh player, right? And you'll probably have some idea of what they might do with that as an Ink Brush player, right? And we're gonna get to see this Cyanide, the Sploosh player right here. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and lurk right under the edge and go right after him. And they're going to get picked, unfortunately. But so far, still pretty even overall. Everyone's fighting in mid. Rainmaker has not been touched, but it has been popped. Hard to tell. Well, it looks like Drexel's going to take first control here. VCU pushed back a bit, but still not much in the way of actual progress, right?
I'll tell you what, I think the key person to pick there, if you're Drexel, you have to get to the pencil named Amber Alert here of VCU. Basically comes down to, if you take care of this pencil, you can win this. But because the pencil has so much range and get into really stupidly good high grounds that we highlighted prior to the game starting, you got to get to them. And right now they have not been successful, and you can see that Drexel attempted to get a little bit of a push going a couple times here, and both times the pencil comes in and cleans up the members of Drexel. So VCU with that, basically it's like air support in the military, right? You have that person with a long range or artillery support as well. Just somebody with range helping out the front lines here, being the splash, especially the dualies, both pairs of dualies. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it looks like VCU is going to take advantage of that lack of said range to just go ahead and hop straight onto the checkpoint here, clearing that first checkpoint and allowing them to set up to go forward. An Amber Alert, the pencil on top of the spinner to give them a nice position to just keep pushing Drexel back. Another big pick, potentially two big picks from VCU Spirality as they push into the base. 30 points, and they drop. That's going to be the end of that, unfortunately.
They can come back around, Hohen. That's a 3 down. The Sploosh is behind you. Slow him down. Oh, they got the wipe. Oh, no, they didn't get the wipe. They got him, Hohen. The Sploosh gets a big double. I thought the Sploosh was going to go down there. Instead, they get the big point-saving double. That was a huge miss by Amber Alert. Oh, if they get that, they probably drop it down to 10 points, under 10 points, maybe even a knockout there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Drexel needs to go ahead and try to retake control of mid. Big area, lots of paint that needs to be put down. And, well, lots of lurking enemies in the meantime. So they're going to need to put that paint down to be able to push forward here. Of course, they're going to be assaulted from all sides in the meantime.
You have this roller behind them. They don't know the roller's there. Look how pinned they are. What a great team play by Drexel, coming from 2 different angles to just squish these 2 players that were there. But can they get to that next level? They got to get to.
There's a solid double.
That's a big
solid. I thought that was gonna. I could have thought that was gonna turn into a triple or even a quad, but Amber Alert does get the pick, prevent things from going sideways.
And this Rainmaker is just going nowhere for Drexel. Admittedly, VCU in a great position. They have that range advantage, and they can just use that high ground, sit back, relax. Hey, we got a minute and a half, but, you know, we have advantage here. You have to come to us. And Drexel thus far has not been able to come to VCU. They've not been able to get to the spin at all, Holland.
Yeah, Drexel is having a lot of trouble getting things moving here. They do appear to have a good amount of paint down at mid, which will help their roller and their sploosh quite a bit. As short-range weapons, it's not stealth per se, but that kind of thing is important. And they do finally manage to clear the spinner, but not onto the actual checkpoint. With 50 seconds left and them being pushed back a good bit, things might get a bit trickier here. They have to figure it out. They do get 1 pick there with the hammer. They get a second, but go down as well.
Oh, they played that perfect almost, Hohen. They dropped a bubble, but before the roller could grab the Rainmaker, it resets. They would have had the checkpoint basically guaranteed. Instead, they get wiped, Hohen, with 15 seconds remaining.
This is going to be hard to come back from, if not impossible.
Slider comes in, is just going to put pressure. I think that's going to be it. They can't get there in time, even with a perfect path. It is over.
Yeah, it is over.
It is a best of 5, so the set is not over, but this game is done decisively in VCU's favor here, Holland.
I find it interesting that it chose to go with 2 short-range weapons on Museum Rainmaker, honestly. Especially since how much that favors range and distance. It feels like it was a bit of a mismatch between comp and map mode.
Yeah, it's almost like they felt they were really comfortable on it, but their comp didn't make sense, as you kind of highlighted for that. All I can think of is their goal was to just go super, super fast on them. That, like, even, hey, if you have the advantage, maybe you don't hit those shots, you don't get there. And there was just not a chance. Drexel barely got to the spinner the entire time. So they never were able to utilize that speed of those weapons for any offensive pushes. They were just going at the VCU folks, and the VCU folks were getting fantastic trades or better in their favor. And so Drexel was just constantly in basically neutral at best, or a defensive side, of course. We saw the big push come out from VCU where they got down to 30 points remaining, Helen. And we got our new counter pick, Helen.
We're heading on to Tower Control on Sturgeon Shipyard next. The stats for Tower Control indicates that Drexel actually is leading in this category. They have a 57.1% win rate on power control matches compared to VCU Spirality's 52.7% win rate. Not all that much of a difference, but definitely a lot bigger than 0.1% on Rainmaker. What do you think, Kraken? Do you think this is going to do better for a short range comp like a roller and a sploosh, that kind of stuff?
No, if anything, I think they should have gone clams here. I think Rainmaker was the choice. I think the map was the last time. Mind you, their win rates were within 0.1, and Drexel has advantage in every other mode other than Rainmaker. But TC favors a lot of more range, especially on, again, Sturgeon Shipyard here. There's a lot of high ground positions that you're going to have to clear out. You're going to need a Zuka. You're going to need another long range. You could even pop something like a crab, something to take care of those. And when we were looking at the last group of weaponry, right, they didn't have a lot of range. Even in terms of options, the only thing they had was you could throw a hammer, which isn't the most effective thing at range, but it is, it's still special. It can do some damage. And then they had one Zuka. The other one was drinks and bubble. So they're in a situation again that if they don't switch in some range, they may really, really suffer in terms of in a very similar way to this last game, where Amber Alert is going to be sending some squid kids back to the espresso machine.
Yeah. And I'm just glancing through the weapons that Drexel's been using. It looks like a lot of sploosh, roller, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think they might, at least just looking at the map mode and the records, they might not have a great matchup in that regard here. But, it is their counter pick. They made the decision. So let's see if they've got an ace up their sleeve here, so to say.
Yeah, sometimes, you just feel really, really comfortable with the map, even if it feels like on paper it doesn't fit your comp. Sometimes you just, hey, I'm really good at this map for some reason, because I've done that myself. And here we go! Game 3 started, Hoenn. And we do see a little bit of changes. Yeah, they had Zap and Roller last time. The only change is that Sploosh is now a bucket. That is the only change from Drexel's side that I see. And then we have a decaf showing instead of a Dapple Doolies.
More range in that regard, while still being that close range, high intensity weapon like a Dapple Doolies. So, yeah, I could see that, potentially. Of course, we'll get to see how it works out here. And right now, it's mostly working out for Drexel. With the 2 down on the side of VCU Spirality, Drexel has the opportunity to start moving this tower. Of course, the pencil is going to be in position to just go ahead and bombard the tower, though. But we get a flank from the N-Zap to take out the pencil. Big key play, like you mentioned last game. And gets the decab, and is now going for, well, multiple. The pencil and the shot. Splash, rather.
Big double. N-Zap can be mightily aggressive. A lot of people forget how aggressive N-Zap can be and tend to play it as like a pure support. N-Zap can go get some kills if it wants to get some kills. And we just saw a couple nice picks by the Zap. And here we go, Drexel breaking that first checkpoint really easily here within the first minute and a half, Hoenn. Hey, they seem to be really comfortable on Sturgeon Shipyard thus far.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be paying off for them, and a good play by Meat Bear the roller as well, clearing that checkpoint. It was stuck at 1 for a bit, and Meat Bear touched it to clear it, so now they don't have to go clear it again at this point, right? Because if, VCU had pushed up earlier, that would have been pretty bad. How did that Zuka not get them earlier, actually?
I think that's just a little bit of spectator latency there.
Probably. That did 2 shots on him, but yeah. Nevertheless, Drexel's definitely doing fine here. It seems like they definitely have this map down, which, makes sense. Their counter pick. Meat Bear is going to go ahead and start holding this checkpoint with the bubble, but they are going to get overwhelmed by hacks, and I'm not even sure how to pronounce the decap's name. But anyways, right, and the tower's just going to go ahead and slowly reset. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice.
We make ourselves laugh here, folks.
Hey! If you're on the mic, big chance for VCU here. But if you're on the mic, you got to have some level of shenanigans, right? Right? Someone's got to agree with me on that.
VCU folks. Look at Hacks diving forward, getting one, almost getting the second one. But low-key boy out here with the strikes, gonna stop the
Double
tower from
strikes.
pushing forward. But it doesn't stop VCU for the long term, just the short term. And it's numbers disadvantage for VCU now, though.
Drexel does manage to stop the push for the moment, at least, right? But for the moment, at the 33, maintaining their lead. But here comes which is not how you pronounce it, but I think it's funny. Here comes the decab on the tower to try to take that lead, and they do not manage to. Low-key, the Slosher's going to go ahead and get pushed back by Splashdown, but still, overall, they're doing pretty good at holding this choke point, I'd have to say, especially since they're now, advancing after our little joke there.
Hoenn, when he has to think of any temperature below 70 degrees.
Oh my god. Come on. I can handle 60.
Okay, sorry, my fault. I think below 60, dude. Brr. But here we go. Drexel trying to get back on the offensive side here. They've cleared their defensively, able to stop them before they can get any points really on the checkpoint. A 5-point lead for Drexel. Able to kind of keep this tower forward, because even if you're not getting points, tower forward is huge. But they have a numbers disadvantage, and the VC players are going to swarm and get 2 for 1, Hoenn.
They do lose that one player, though, which was very important for Drexel. If they want to stay in this, they need to keep pressure on and keep those picks going. But Drexel, at this point, is definitely starting to get pushed back. As the bubble comes out to block the rest of that Trizuka, VCU setting up for their push, but with only 20 seconds left, they have the time, especially with overtime, but they have to do it, and they have to kind of maintain the tower.
Tower's running away from you, friends, but they get a big triple as a team. Hacks getting 2, the other team members there around, not sure who the pick went to, Ghost or our decaf friend here. But 3 go down, and it looks like there's going to be another latent kill. Looks like they're all pushing forward, but it's not showing on our side. So I'm going to take it as that. Oh, there's double DC Hoenn! What?
What the heck?
VC.
I was looking at this like, what? I don't have the DC rules offhand, but I'm pretty sure if they're like most events that cannot be replayed. That was in OT.
That counts. VCU's internet decided, we're done.
We're done here today.
Admittedly, Drexel was in a pretty good position defensively. There's a very good chance Drexel hangs on to that game even without the disconnects. But the disconnects are a nail in the coffin for Game 3. We're going to Game 4, Hoenn. This will not be a sweep of a set. And feels nice here. After Game 1, we were like, yeah, feeling real good, real close. Game 2 being such a domination. Good to see Drexel getting back in here, getting a point on the board. That is great for momentum.
We're not going to have to go yell at Grace.
Not yet, anyways. Yeah, there's still.
Hey. They got at least 1 point. They didn't get shut out. That's the important, right?
That's true. They still have to win 2 more games to win the set, but a reverse sweep would be a great way to start our morning. I'll tell you what.
Absolutely. But we'll have to see if they can do it, right? On the other hand, VCU, right? Maybe they lost that game, right? Maybe they had the DC issues. They're probably taking some time to figure that out. Obviously, that's important. But that's only 1 game, and now they have control of the map mode. They get the counter pick, which means they can turn everything against Drexel. And since they took 2 games off Drexel, the initial game and one of their counter picks, they definitely have a lot of momentum going into this, I'd say. A lot of advantage in that regard, right?
Mm-hmm. I do agree here. Do you have any insight to what kind of maybe map that you're thinking here would be really, really valuable to VCU to pick to kind of wrap up this set? Anything that maybe the stats here or talents might be a really good choice for them?
Well, glancing at the stats here, I'm looking at their weapon list right now, and for VCU, you got a lot of shorter range weapons, usually backed up by something like pencil, decav, or heavy, right? So that could be advantage, but also, Drexel has some of the shorter range weapons. So I think I'd probably do something similar. Just looking at that, at least look at something similar to, say, what Museum was, right? Just because that would probably give the same kind of benefit. I could potentially go through each map mode combo here and figure something out, but yeah, that would take a bit to go through all of them.
Hoenn, I think I have the best choice, and I don't think you're going to disagree
Is
with
it
me.
Triggerfish Zone Supremacy?
I think everyone should find their Splatoon 2 cartridge, and we should go to Triggerfish Zones. I agree, Hoenn. You knew where I was going with this.
I can read your
Yes.
mind.
Well, I'm not going to start that kind of thing and not be a joke of some kind.
Kraken knows the exact map mode. Actually, I know what they're going to pick. They're going to pick Ink Blot on tower control.
The most common pick for like counter picks, I swear. Also, we got
Almost
insight from our producer. But yeah,
Don't tell them that.
there it is. Hey,
oh look, I was right.
Yeah, Hoenn. Yeah, you just have amazing mind reads. It's not like even without the mind read, that's like a 50% chance that people don't pick that anyways. It's like as someone who admittedly last night counterpicked that map in SAC finals, it's a very common counterpick map.
Oh yeah, I see it all the time. I vaguely recall hearing complaints about it, just with how common it is. But that's just vague recollections from Twitter, which I don't even want to go there. But win Ross Slate, we already talked about that. 57.1 for Drexel, 52.7 for Spirality on tower control. Pretty close overall. Enough of a difference to indicate that Drexel should have the advantage here, and they did win tower control on Sturgeon. But now we move to a different map, a map selected by VCU. Obviously, incredibly common map, but other than it's a generic and good pick, do you think there's any reason VCU picked this specifically?
I think that's a big key of it. Just kind of very confident in this one. You get to play this one a lot. Because again, things like counter picks and such, you see this a lot. And it's just common in a lot of map lists. But I'll tell you what, I feel that this is almost a weird, I feel like each team is counterpicking for the other team right now. Because I feel like a lot of the advantages to the map and how the map plays goes to the other team. We talked about it with Museum and Sturgeon. And now, here, I'm going to quickly go as we're getting into the game. Inkblot is all about getting to that bats area at the top. And Drexel has historically thus far had the faster weapon group. And they still do have the faster weapon group. So you can get up there and get to that bats real fast. Though there is some nice ranged areas that Amber Alert is going to be able to take advantage of. So here we go, Hoenn. Getting into our game 4. VCU up 2-1 over Drexel. And first 15 seconds, just paint fest.
Pretty standard. You need to get the paint on the ground so you can move quickly, recover ink, and prevent your opponents from moving around. Pretty standard Splatoon tactic after all. So that makes a lot of sense. And we get a nice double from Hacks with the Octo Brush. And that is a full wipe from Hacks with the Octo Brush. I don't even think Kraken can make angry Octo Brush comments about that.
I wanted to. I had one in my brain, and then after the double, I was like,
then he got a quad with it.
Just an Octo Brush. You don't want, you're not as good as Ink Brush. And then they get a quad. Now. And they get another one in the background there. And Amber Alert on the tower. They're at checkpoint 2, just like that. Look at VCU go there. Crazy confidence match right now.
Oh my goodness, the slaughter fest continues. But the key thing is, where's the tower? Where's it going to be moving? It's still moving right now, but it has not been moving as fast as it could, right? Because if Drexel can hold them back till they break through, all for naught, right? However, we do clear checkpoint 2, so that's not happening right now. We got a flank coming in from the rear, it looks like, to try to take the tower out, and one right up underneath on top. And we do finally get the pick, and we have multiple people on there, and Hacks is going to get 1, I believe there.
Amber Alert hiding underneath the cooler, like, get you me, get you me, it's right here, I got a big shield, That I will give them credit. You don't see enough people utilizing that cooler to their advantage as like a defensive option. You can use it as a shield, both, no matter what team you're on. So if the opponent throws down a cooler like this, you can use it to block things. And that was a great way to utilize it, to just kind of get as many points as you could, knowing that you could get a pick. I would have maybe liked to jump out once you realized you weren't going to get away or get any more points, but still very good usage of that cooler by Amber Alert. But Drexel is like, hey, you can push, and it's our turn to push. Let's show that we can do that.
Yeah. Let's see if Drexel can beat 23 here. They're at 70 and moving. Amber with an excellent snipe on the roller who was coming right for them, and it looks like VCU is going to stop that for the most part. But we do have Drexel up in bats. That could serve as a jump point, and that did, in fact, have a lurking roller up there. Hacks, excellent eyes to spot that there. Excellent callouts from their team likely as well.
Oh, they saw that jump in, big jump in denial. A good double by Hacks on the Octobrush. But hey,
Kraken boys.
Picks slide back into Drexel's favor. They're moving this tower really easily when they have advantage. They haven't had numbers advantage very often, but the moment they kind of have one up, they are pushing tower at least a little bit while they try to get more picks in their favor, which I want to give them mad credit for, because once those picks start going, that's how the tower moves so fast, and we saw that in the last game. But they constantly seem to find themselves with a numbers disadvantage. You saw they got one pick and now two. They get another trade and they're down again. Minute and a half remaining.
Making lots of big moves here today. Looks like Drexel is going to continue to skirmish here in mid, trying to push up against VCU, but they do that. The pencil, just endless pressure, right? They've got to deal with it somehow. Otherwise, they're not going to get much of anything done, right? And they have to win this game. They cannot afford to lose.
Yeah, you can't afford to lose your Drexel. They go 3 down. Make that a complete wipe, Owen, with a combination of specials, a main weapon, and you just saw them all go down. 40 seconds remaining. Not the end of the world yet. I've seen bigger holes get taken, getting dug out of with less time, and it's getting picks as a start, but they also, in the background, went 3 down again, Owen.
They're getting the picks, but they're also going down at the same time. They're effectively trading as a team, right? And that's not a winning play, to say the least. Slosher here trying to get something done to get this ready to push. They have to be on the tower and maintain it pretty much from this point forward. They have about 4 seconds that they can flex with, but yeah. Here comes the strikes to try to stop that. Tower is not controlled, but they do touch, and they do get... Oop, nope, that's it. We're done. And that is going to be Game 3 and the set to VCU Spirality.
Game 4, however. We got it to Game 4.
4 out of 5 ain't bad, right? It's best of 5. Yeah. Not everything's going to go to 5. One interesting thing, right? I was going to talk about it, but then the match started. Win rate on this mode, right? Both teams have played... Well, actually, VCU has apparently played on this about... Assuming I'm reading this right, they played on it 4 times. But that can't be right. It's got to be like 5 times. They have an 80% win rate on this mode. Meanwhile, Drexel, right, they've played on this mode twice, and they haven't won at all. And that was, of course, prior to this game, right? Now it's a 3 times loss. So, yeah, it makes sense why VCU picked that. They have a very solid win rate on this map mode.
And it was a very good choice. They played it really, really well. And that's the key there. Just got to play those matches well. When you get those losses, get those games back, and get that momentum back, and maybe then you can steal one. Though, of course, for VCU, they were playing up the entire set as they got that game 1. Getting that game 1 is helpful because then you're guaranteed to have home field advantage the rest of the time, right? Because you're guaranteed no matter what, if you lose twice, you get to counterpick twice, and you only need 2 wins. So, that first game is very, very huge to win. it is not a nail in the coffin by any means, but it puts you in a really good position. And VCU was able to take advantage of that position right away, and they were able to eventually take advantage of that when they got themselves in a situation they had to counterpick.
Absolutely here. Looks like we are not going to be taking any sort of break here. We're just going to be heading into the next match, and we have the Holy Snails up against NCCS Llamas. At least I'm pretty sure we're heading into the next set. We'll wait for confirmation here while I pull up the team details here.
The Holy Snail.
Yeah, but the profile picture for this team, oh my goodness, it's the Pope, but it's a snail. It's beautiful. I love it.
The real question for me is, they always have that thing, the immortal snail that follows you. If it touches you,
Oh,
you
that,
die,
yeah.
or
Is that the Holy Snail?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of questioning. Is that what the Holy Snail is? Is that a new name for that? Hey, if they touch you, that you die. So,
Do they have
llamas,
a
are you?
tungsten spear? My goodness,
I'm worried for the llamas. If they get touched here, it might be over for them.
it depends on if the llamas are the one the snail's trying to touch. Remember, the thing is that it's
Oh,
trying
good
to touch
point.
one specific person. If it's not any of the members of the llamas, then the snail should just go somewhere else and it should be easy for them. So if your theory holds true that this is the correct group of snails, right, then that's just gonna either go after them and try to literally murder them or do nothing at all.
So, we'll find out really shortly when we get into game one on that. We'll find out really quickly. It's kind of weird that they'd be in a turf war setting and not be fighting though. So, like, I'm gonna put my money on the fact that they're trying to slay the llamas.
But I think they'll come back to life. First match here is going to be Splat Zones on Umami, it looks like. When it comes to zones in general, very close overall. The Holy Snail has a 56.5% win rate on zones in general and a 54.2 for Llamas. And if I go ahead and filter this down to Splat Zones on Umami, take a look at the details here. It looks like Holy Snail has played this map mode once before and did not win that. Meanwhile, Llamas, they played this map mode a lot. Like, I see a lot of different games played here. They have a 55.6% win rate on this map mode.
I like this
So
map, Colin.
it's pretty fun. I like it as well. Not much data to go off when it comes to comparisons, but in general, I think with Llamas having more experience on this map mode, they might, they might do, better here, but we'll have to see.
Colin, we got
Oh,
some important insight on this one.
oh no. Is that
Like the
Lilith?
most important insight that because it relates to that thing that we both created like 77 years ago.
I know, right? Isn't it freaking getting to the point where it's going to be 6-7 years?
To inform folks what we're talking about. For the Llamas, one of the players was a part of Low Inc. in November, and we believe they got Alpha Bracket. We might be wrong exactly on that, but oh man, good old Low Inc. It's everywhere. Go play in it. I think everybody here in Div 4 should. I'm gonna say this, and I could technically be wrong. However, I'm pretty sure that pretty much everybody in Div 4 is eligible for Low Inc. So go play in it. Get some extra practice.
Hey, Kraken. There's an ink brush.
Woo! After that aqua brush, I needed this cleanse. Thank you, ink brush.
Kraken's,
and it's Vink.
Kraken. He's gonna cure himself from octobrush-itis here.
Never mind, it's an octoling. It's an octoling ink brush. Oh. I'm sad. Never mind. Life is sad. I never mind.
Very specific tastes.
I'm very sad. But anywho, good start for the Llamas. They are slaying this immortal snail somehow. I don't know how they do that. Are they like Kratos or? But anywho, we'll find out if they're actually Kratos in dressed up as a llama, or if the Snails were just being really, really nice to start here. But get a couple picks from the Snails and the Llamas, but also just
goodness.
hit back here.
Yeah, Llamas, they took out the pencil there. That's a key pick. They're going to go ahead and push up, and they do go 3 down. It's just the brush. Brush is going to go ahead and fall back, and they're going to go ahead and get picked as well. And we have Holy Snail moving in to take control here, or at least try to, right? They have one of the zones. They need the other now. The rest of their team's going to be working on that while most of the fighting's probably happening over there. We get a good look at that now, and yeah, definitely. Honestly, I kind of expected them to throw that at the zone, because now, look, now you got 20 seconds, no penalty applied.
Owen, I think this might be game.
Yeah, I think that was a major misplay there. And I think we're done.
I like this map. I want to see more of it. I miss it already.
Well, here's your last look before it disappears until whenever. And that'll be game 1 to the Llamas here today, as we await their counter pick, specifically Holy Snail's counter pick. Now, looking a bit at the stats here,
wow, Holland.
Go ahead.
That was fast, but it was
like you said,
perfect 100. A perfect 100. The exception, the only blemish on the Llamas in that game was that wipeout. That because there was enough delay by the brush getting 2 people on their way out, that the Holy Snail could not get both zones in time for the Llamas to come back in, just barely, by the way. The zone was like 70% in the favor of the Holy Snail at this point. The 3 of them that went down before the brush were able to rush in and hold that zone. Just insane that they were able to do that. And we get a delayed 100-0 is the best way I can describe it. And you have some fun stats, Helen.
Oh, yeah. Looking at the stats, right, we don't know what map mode's being picked yet, right? And it's not really feasible if you start searching through every possible counter pick option here. But just in general, looking at how they do on map modes, I really don't think Holy Snail is going to be picking clams, because they have a serious weakness on clams that Llamas could abuse here. Because here's the thing. Snail has a 27.7% win rate on clam blitz. That is incredibly low. Meanwhile, the Llamas have a 52.1% win rate, which, that's about 50-50, but when fighting a team that doesn't really do well on clam blitz, at least according to the stats, that could be a good choice for them. Other than that, it's all pretty even overall. Both teams seem to be pretty weak on Rainmaker, 32.2 to 40 even. Snails to Llamas, respectively. And Tower Control, the remaining one, is 56.4 to 53.2. So overall, the stats would indicate that Snails is probably going to go for Tower Control or, if eligible, Splat Zones. I don't have the counter pick rules on hand here.
Well, of course, the team that lost can pick whatever they want. So, yeah, they can pick zones. The Holy Snail can right now.
Yeah.
They just can't pick. If they had won, there would be asterisks to picking, right?
Yeah.
But when you lose, you can pick whatever you want. You could theoretically go back to the same map mode. They could go back to Umami and say, "We want the run back, baby!" Like, I've seen that happen, by the way.
Yeah, it's definitely happens.
In terms of being a really good decision and a really bad decision. But I don't think most people don't do that. But you highlighted the stats being very, very, going run them. Other than Clam Blitz, they are so close in terms of percent wins on every single mode.
Yeah, it's overall pretty close. So it should be, first match, hopefully that's just, a bit of an outlier here. And we get some closer matches here in games 2 and forward here. So we don't have, no, we do just now have, that's interesting. I did not expect that at all. The counter pick is Clam Blitz on Barnacle and Dime. Now, that is not something I would have expected from the stats. But let's take a look at the detailed stats here. They both have a 0% win rate on this map mode. Both teams have not won on this map mode, so one of them is going to have their first win on this map mode. Llamas has played this 4 times, and Holy Snails has played this once. So the stats are not going to tell us much here.
So they're going off something that we don't have on the stat sheet, which is, let's be real, the stat sheet only shows what it can show. It can only show the tournament side, both historical and in this season, which I think is a really cool thing, by the way. Shout out to the staff team. Just makes our life really easy to be like, oh, cool, look at these cool little things. We like cool things.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't you help get the stats?
I did help with the baby. The old one where we did it manually. I spent hours and hours and hours manually putting in all of this data, which then people like Hoken came in and said, computers rule. Who needs to manually do this stuff, Kraken, you little silly guy? And now it's all automated and I don't have to do any of the work, which is cool. But
yeah, that's why
I don't do stats at all anymore. But
that's why we have computer science people. Potentially like the people on the Llamas, because they're from the Nearmont College of Computer Science, according to the sheet here. So, yeah.
But yes, we have best of both worlds in this call. We have the computer nerd on to my left, Hoen, and then we have me manually doing it all. Here we go.
We need weather nerds.
We do allow computers there too. But anywho, here we go, Hoen. CB Barnacle in Dime. We'll see who is going to be lost looking at all of the shops and who is going to be taking home some goodies.
I don't think anyone's going to be lost here. Unfortunately, the middle doesn't have any stores itself. Lily with a key pick to start things off here, though. And we're mostly just going to hold position here, it looked like, trying to get in. Special's coming out to force that in. We have a reef slide pushing everyone back, but getting no picks. And Lily gets a triple! Now they just need the clams, and they do pop the basket for the first score of the game. Llamas proving immediately that, hey, we know what we're doing, making counter picks. Which, you know, that you should, right? That's kind of an important thing here.
No, point out, Llamas didn't pick this, Hoen. The Holy Snail did.
Oh my goodness, I completely knocked that back. I apologize.
Imagine winning, you get to counter pick, you get to pick the map.
No, that's a great idea. Absolutely a great idea.
The rat trying to take out the Lily here, and they do. The rat munches on the Lily. I guess they're not herbivores. Are they herbivores? I don't know what rat. Maybe they're herbivores.
I honestly couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure they're not herbivores.
I think lilies are kind of toxic to small animals, so maybe that's not a good idea.
You know why when you said that originally, I'm like, why are we talking about eating people named Lily instead of the flower?
I'm thinking of the flower.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you commentary by Hoen and Kraken. It's shenanigans at every corner. Either way, it looks like Llamas is
in the back.
Yeah, exactly. That's the brush. He's trying to do exactly that. Oh my goodness. And we get a key pick there and the killer whale coming out. That is a second pick this wise. And they're going to get the full team wipe. Llamas moving in for another score, pushing down to 50, 40, 34, 31. The Holy Snail is going to try to stop that, but they are still pushed pretty far back, and we do end up getting to 25 before this push has effectively ended. But we do get a jump in from Lily, who's going to get one, going for the second. They have not gotten it yet, but they're still up.
They're not going to get the 3-in-1 slash like they did last time, you know. That sets bars really, really high. You know, because that was amazing. But here, they've been constantly getting picks, and Llamas have had control of stack. That's the key point of this map. They've basically controlled the Holy Snail's stack the entire game for nearly 3 minutes, and that's why they've scored twice now at 2 different instances. And I think there's going to be a third score here. The third score has hit the clam basket, Hoen.
Why did you have to phrase it like that?
We see more clams coming out. Look at Lily and their
Oh
squad
my
getting
goodness, they
double-double.
almost got the triple too. And they're at 7, and they do stop it. Holy Snails has a big chance here. They need to move and regain ground. Because they don't have a lot of time. They have some time, but they don't have a lot of it, and they don't have any score. So they need some big plays here. But it looks like they've got the clams for it. They got a solid 25 clams, including 2 power clams here. They just need to actually get in. They do try to get into stack. Ink brush sharking. That's what it does best. And you should know that for sure, Kraken.
I do like playing this weapon just a little bit. I've only played it for like thousands of hours. Nah.
Well, only a little time.
Only a little bit. But we do see here that Holy Snail was finally able to get some progress, but they are now backing up, getting rushed. We see the Tri-Slosher get a great movement, staying alive. That Dread wanted this Tri-Slosher, not gonna get them. The whales of the Ink Brush are the nail in the coffin after like 20 years of surviving on this Tri-Slosher. I am surprised, and I would give them mad credit for that survival, but it won't be enough. Only 10 points are the difference between the Llamas knocking out and the Holy Snail getting another shot at victory here.
And here comes the power clam. They're going to jump in for the KO, and, well, they didn't even need that.
The simple
No, like,
clown
that
was,
is it. Nope. Someone else got it.
the simple clown was having fun, you know? They were trolling us like, hey, look over here, I'm going to give you a balloon animal, and then it magically poofs into confetti or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
This is not past trauma.
Devastation. How many of y'all have been traumatized by clowns? I need a show of hands in YouTube chat. For science.
But we see the Holy Snail here. They have not been the invincible snail of the lore past right now. The Llamas are taking care of business, squishing the snails. We're in a situation that is match point already in this best of 5 for winners round 2 of Division 4.
You think that maybe the reason the Snails picked the Clan Blitz match was to deny, if they lost it like they did here, was to deny the Llamas the ability to pick that map mode, right? Because I'm not really I'm not sure why they picked that map mode personally, right? Obviously they had their reasons, right? I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing or anything. Of course they do, but it just doesn't line up to me with the information I have, right?
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's kind of a weird choice, but I don't think they're gonna go in this amount of time. You should never be counterpicking to deny your opponent something. There's just not enough time in a best of 5, even a best of 7. You could,
Yeah, I more meant the mode,
trying
right?
to mess with them. But usually, still, it's always when you can't go back to a mode. It's usually back to the mode for just the next round. So it's like, hey, if let's say the Holy Snail wins this next one, Llamas cannot counterpick into Clan Blitz. But then if, for a while there, or for the entire time, because they've won it at this point, because it's match point. But like, you don't want to give up a free game, especially after match 1, where they were just kind of dominant. I see where you're coming from with that, Hoenn, but there's just not enough time in a BO5.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The only logic, that's like the only logic I could come with, well, let's pick our best clams mode and try to take them on that, so that when it comes back around, we don't have to deal with their best clams mode or something. But I don't know. Really, if I were them, at least with the information I have, I would have picked something else. But hey, they get another chance here. We don't know what it is just yet. We'll be told when it comes in, but they'll get another shot on something else. No.
I was trying to catch you. I was trying to catch you and be like, "Oh yeah, you start talking about Piranha Pit."
Kraken. First off, you said Clam Blitz, right? Looking at this, yes, you said Clam Blitz. I know that was in Splatoon 2, but here's the thing: I don't think they're going to be counterpicking Clam Blitz. So I didn't kind of
I mean, they
put
did
too close
once,
to.
Hohen. You can't say that. They already
But I
did
don't
once.
think. Why would they pick it again? Right?
Because they feel really confident in the mode. It happens a lot in counterpicking. You'd be surprised. It happened, I think, twice
Okay,
in us
fair
in
enough.
NCC Finals in 4 sets, where the loser would pick the match mode that was just played.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, but
So,
even so, the Piranha Pit thing. The moment you said that, I'm like, Kraken. I know you like that map. You clearly just said that to pull shenanigans.
well, I didn't want to be clear. I didn't want to like make it a actual map that is in the game because I was just trolling. It's gotta be something that's either not in the game because it's been in the game 2 of the games already, or it wasn't in it's just not in 3 in
Speaking
general.
of, looks like the counter picks in. They're going to go ahead and pick Splat Zones on Camp Triggerfish.
Woo! Let's go, base team! Based team!
So we got to give everyone a minute to swap to Splatoon 2 here. No, they changed their mind. We're doing Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market.
Well, I can't believe they've done this to me. I know multiple member of these teams. We've communicated a couple times. And they do this to me. I can't believe it. Okay, anyways, Hagglefish Zones. What's the key positions, Helen? You know about this, man. You've played it a few times.
Yeah. When it comes to zones, obviously you got your zone straight in the middle, definitely susceptible to tri-strikes and reef sliders as well. You got your flanks off on the side; those can be incredibly useful. But really, if you're going to push the enemy team back, you need to get up. I don't know what it's called, to be brutally honest, but you need to push up into their base, simply put, which is pretty standard for any zones map, to be brutally honest. I just pulled up the stats for this. Holy Snail has played this map mode combo 6 times, and they have won every single time. Now that makes sense stats-wise. On the other hand, Llamas has played this a lot, right? I'd have to do a good chunk of counting here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They played about 11 times, right? And they have a 60% win rate, which, that's not bad. 60%, not horrible at all for that many. But with the Llamas playing fairly similar number and having a 100% win rate, I definitely think that the Holy Snail has an advantage here, which, as it should be when you make the counter pick yourself. They're going to have to make this count, though, because they need to win the next 3 to win the set.
Will we be getting out the brooms, or will we be having some cooked snail? We'll find out real shortly, Hohen.
Wouldn't it be both if they lost, Kraken? Because it's the snails who need to win.
That's what I say, with some cooked snail. Or if the llamas win, we get some cooked snail. If the snails win, we get the brooms out, and we
Oh yeah, no, I thought you meant no, because the llamas. You also get if the llamas win. You
That's
get the
true.
It
would be a sweep. Yeah, good point.
So
I kind of forgot about that part.
You gotta wait for the snails to win one game, and then you can start banging the brooms on the wall for them only. Right?
Yeah. Don't you all do that in hockey? You guys all bring brooms and just start like banging it against the glass?
But we get sticks and we start whacking everything, including each other with it. Yes.
Yeah. Especially then shoot little disc into goal.
Yes. And then we blare the goal horn in Kraken Mare's ears. Anyways, we're off here today.
Hey, that's how we're not in the self promotion section yet, Helen.
Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. Hey, look, we got a gold arrow spray on the side of the Holy Snails, Kraken. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, they are the Holy Snails. It's an appropriate sound.
I remember playing this at comp. Mine had an ink mine when that could one-shot kill back in my day. But anywho,
your day.
It's a great start for them. Look at the Holy Snail. They're putting up their first points of the set.
And their first lead.
Points of the set, Owen.
And they got their lead too. So they're doing really well here so far. comparatively.
The divine
And
powers are blessing them!
Snail God is supporting them. Nothing can stop them now. Except
Look at them
maybe
with
flat
the
bombs.
pinning of 2 llamas to the right side. They slay them. And, well, actually, they only slayed one and the other one jumped out. But, you know, close enough, I think.
Close enough, close enough. And it looks like Holy Snail's hold zone here. They do need to actually move up a bit, otherwise this is not going to be sustainable, to be brutally honest, right? Especially with those tri-strikes just flipping zone, right? Like I said, not sustainable. So they're going to need to find the time to move up here, but right now, not quite the best time. They're down 2.
Some bucket on bucket crime, but neither of them are successful in sending the other back to the espresso machine this time around. Actually, it is. They do. The Dreadbringers. It goes down to a Flower Boy, and another cap here for the Holy Snail. Advantage to them. They're clearing out, and none of the members of the Llamas have dropped until now. One of them just dropped below our pencil friend here.
Well, they've got drinks and they've got pressure. Again, the Holy Snail's not pushing up here to try to take, to try to push into, you know, Llama's zone, so to say. Again, don't have to call out, but yeah, we kind of have to. You're gonna have to do that if you want to succeed here, in my opinion. They can put out a lot of power.
Strikes coming out. So another slider coming out. And the zone goes back to the Llamas. But they have a Booyah Bomb here that can maybe get them some space. While this brush, though, is like, hey, I'm gonna take my own space and get up in your face. And they kill the Booyah Bomb before it can come out. Aerospray, a little bit tough to win fights. Though, if you can't utilize your range advantage, it's weird to say with an Aerospray on a brush.
And Llamas does end up taking the lead here. And there's a flank in the back. The brush, no, not the brush, the bucket actually with that flank there. And we are 17 seconds away, 17 ticks away. Flower Boy coming in, and they're going to put a massive dent into the zone. But Llamas is there and ready, and they are locking it down in 3, 2, up. Nope, not quite. Not quite. There it is. And that is unfortunately going to be the end for the Holy Snails. The Holy Snails were not holy enough in the eyes of their snail god to win here today. Llamas with a 3-0 set sweep.
Guys, I will say, the immortal snail is not dead, folks, because it is double elimination. So it is not a single elimination. They are not done. They are sent down to the loser side to actually go face Drexel, who we saw earlier, because Drexel won their fight there too. Which Hoenn, I think I gotta check this. Both of our teams that went 3-0 yesterday are out. Hoenn.
I didn't have a chance to watch yesterday. What were you looking at yesterday?
So yesterday it's a little bit of a weird format. Hold on, I'll circle back to this. Let's finish highlighting the Llamas and the Snails because they deserve more highlight than this, and then we'll talk about this before we go to a break potentially here. But
I think we'll need a break. Yeah.
Yeah, because the other side is 1-0. But we'll give you some things here. We'll highlight day one a little bit and we'll highlight what I just talked about. Well, so I'm just gonna tease you all now because I'm mean. But anywho, credit to the Llamas, by the way. We don't want to cut out your amazing play. By the way, you guys have deserved to go to winners finals of Division 4 to face the winner of Push versus VCU. But we'll come. We're proud of you. Holy Snail, yeah, that was a better counter pick there. That was a much better counter pick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could definitely see how much better they were on that map mode compared to Clan Blitz on Barnacle and Dime. And yeah, we'll definitely see how they do in losers bracket. We'll keep an eye on them. Hey, maybe we'll even stream them again later. But definitely amazing from Llamas. They really took advantage of every situation and pushed through, even when Snails had the advantage of all the counter picks. So yeah, kudos to them.
Yeah, great Great job here. That was still fun set. As much as it ended up being a sweep, I think it was a really, really, really fun set to watch here. And now, Hohen, I think it's time. Do you have anything more you want to say about the set, or you want me to stop teasing the people?
Go ahead.
So yesterday we had our day one, right, where they cut the field in half. We had a total of 16 teams come in, and they qualified for this. And the field was a modify switch, which was a cool format. And I really want to highlight it because it's cool. And they have been wanting to do this, they being like David, Vapor, and some other members of the staff, as like and I was in on talking about this. So they have researched the crap out of other esports, along with, Splatoon and other tournaments. Here at home, they're like, hey, what are other esports doing? And they saw this in the champion situation. You can't really use it just day to day because it only really works well when you have specific numbers of teams. And 16 is one of those where the round number is just really clean. You don't have any buys. It just makes this format really jank. But stop teasing you about the format and just kind of talk about it. Basically, with this format, it's modified Swiss is what it is. And basically, your goal is to get 3 wins and not get 3 losses, or you're out. So as you play, the first 3 rounds are normal Swiss. So if you played Swiss before, it goes off seeding the first time, and then after that, you face teams with the same win-loss record. And so if you're 1-0, you face a 1-0, then round 2 you face a 2-0. And then after that third round, right, where the 2 teams are both 2-0 and the other teams are 0-2, and there's some in the middle that are 1-1, so they face each other. The teams that win that are 2-0 are done for the day, and they have qualified for this event. And the teams that lose that are 0-2 are done and out of the event. And so for that first round, after round 3, the 2 teams that went 3-0 did not lose in a set were High Tide and Clark Coy. Both of those teams are out of this tournament, Hohen.
Wow. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen this kind of thing before in other events, right? It seems like you'll have some teams sometimes come into low ink, they're really hot. Man, I got 6-0 in day 1 Swiss, right, in my group, and then you go and you completely flop in alpha bracket in day 2, right? You got to be able to carry that momentum between days, and that can be difficult because you cool off, right? You go do everything else, you sleep, you eat, you do whatever work, something other than Splatoon, general warm up and practice, of course. It could be hard to carry that momentum between days, and momentum is so important.
Yeah, it is really tough, and it's just really, really hard to do. And it probably hurts too to just take those losses to open, right? Push came in and took care of business on High Tide, 3-0, which they're right now winning the other set that we're waiting on. And then so you just lose that momentum, and then they go in and drop to Drexel, 2-0, which Drexel was a feisty team in that first round we saw. And then Clark Coy, they again, for probably the same situation, 3-1, they lost to the Holy Snail, by the way, which we just saw. And then they dropped down to SU Esports. And they're just like, who lost to the Llamas in the round before. And it's just like you just have no momentum in your sail. So maybe they're kind of momentum based teams and things like that, Helen. And it just
I think
that
that's
first
likely.
loss hurt.
I think it's likely.
I think it also highlights how close all these teams are. As much as we
That's
just
a good
saw
thing.
the Llamas take care of business on the sweep of the Snails, maybe a little bit of a different first map, get that momentum shift, and the Snails might 3-0 instead of the way it happened here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that could have happened. But again, it really depends on how heavy momentum and how they could control their momentum. If Llamas, again, we didn't really have a chance to see or test this. If Llamas had a pretty good control over their momentum and ability to handle losses, right, then maybe it would have just been gone this pretty much this way regardless.
Anywho, Hohen, I think it's time for us to take a quick breather as we wait for our winners. Final set is going to be the Llamas versus the winner of Push versus VCU. We'll find out soon, Hoen. We'll take a short break. Hope to see you all on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
See you soon.
Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No, who am I to let you down? Down, down. If you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No. Who am I to let you?
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? cancel the cruise control. Switching in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
Welcome back to this Minecraft stream. I'm Kraken Mare, joined by HoeenHero, and our producer Neptune. In the break, along with us, we have decided we're going to change this to a Minecraft stream. We are no longer going to be streaming Splatoon. You guys can watch, the player's POV or something. We're going to keep the tournament going. We're at least that nice. That's easy enough, right, Hoeen? That's what we're going to do.
Exactly. Like that's what we all agreed. I'm not sure if the staff's okay with it, but that's okay. They don't need to know. No one tell them.
Our producer agreed, so like that's good enough.
Exactly.
Anywho, folks, in all seriousness, we're going to be going to Division 4 Winners Finals. Push, which is from Purdue University. And then we have the Llamas coming back from Newmont. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Who we just saw in the last round. Oh my god, Hoeen, it's going!
Oh, wait, we're already going? Jeez, that's fast. Yeah, Mahi Splat Zone's up first, and stats-wise, very close, 53 to 54%. Let's see how this goes. Oh, we got a range blaster on Push. Always like to see that. And an explosion.
It's so we see that Hoeen's gonna be a fan of Push. I'm gonna be a fan of the Llamas for the brush. So Hoeen and I are fighting, but we're channeling it through these teams. So my team is losing. Yeah, let's go, Brush. Yeah, good quad. Let's go, Alibi. Good start for the Llamas, getting a quad on the Brush.
Kraken just immediately goes Spiral and screams, "My team is losing!"
And then they immediately get a quad. The Brush. That's amazing. Thank you, bro.
I can't even.
That was so tight. Anywho, the water level is dropped. We have a better map. This goes from one of the worst maps to a mediocre map. Fight me in the comment section.
Find him in YouTube chat, guys. Roast him. Or whatever. Or don't. I don't care. I don't really have much of an opinion.
Push able to break back in, get a cap here. Range blaster going down. Brush also going down. Expo getting the pick on the pencil. And Push in a really good position to take this lead, Helen.
They come back from that epic ink brush quad that Kraken will be talking about for the next week. And now they're going to go ahead and try to hold back the Llamas as they push in.
Oh, they almost get the cancel! Not going to happen this time. The fists come down, get the kill. But the big thing is that Llamas hold the lead and push back to their own stack. But they decide to rush in together.
Oh, that's a nice double.
Oh, it was a triple, Helen.
I didn't see the third. Even better. An excellent play so far from Push. Range Blaster is going to put some pressure on. Decap's going to stay down here and do the same from the ground. That Sniper's going to get blasted out of position by the Range Blaster. Very good at that particular kind of task Range is. And a nice direct there. However, we caught the... How did they not see that? He got the bucket coming in and just re-slidering, missing, and then just finishing off the blaster anyways. Push looks well. Maybe they might hold this. Actually, this is still contested.
They do manage to hold that. I believe there was a quick flip in that because that penalty is still pretty large. I might be wrong.
Yeah, it probably was.
And I saw the Llamas penalty go up, so there was a quick flip in there that we caught because I was about to roast them for not getting the cap instead of going for that kill with this reslider, but. Nope, the team got the cap. Don't need to roast. You did the job. Good job, Llamas. But now you're losing, so you better make some adjustment on the fly here.
Here comes the triple strikes. They don't get the zone, but does give you some time. And that explosion with a nice direct there. Not enough to protect the zone, but the splashdown coming down will give them the zone with a little bit of help there. They do have one behind them. That is dangerous, right? One solid pick again from Explosion, and we're back in. Right, very back and forth right now overall. Explosion putting on a lot of pressure. If I'm the Llamas, I need to take out this Explosion. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, the paint output is huge, along with the range that they're utilizing. I mean, they're playing it nice and aggro, working with their team, too. Yeah, I mean, you can see that this Expo is keeping the rest of the team all back on this right side. That Blaster coming in and taking one swing at things, not able to clean up anything. And that Splasher went down to the Tri-Strike. And just like that, the Llamas get a chance to push back, and they get a double! Though, that Ink Rush able to at least get someone back
Push
down.
gets a
But
double,
I do think Llamas are going to lose the zone.
And it looks like Push is going to come in. They do get the zone here. The Range Blaster does get the pencil from the side. Again, classic Range Blaster move there. And now we have another coming in. Once again, Range Blaster going to pressure them off this plat. Bombs, though. Not bad strategy here. Bombs to poke them out of the way, and especially that pencil from the far back is a great way to push them out here. So we have the Clown here, right? Everyone's worst fear, Clowns. Going to go ahead and come into the zone and try to take it back from Push. But it looks like they're going to get pressured by the Range Blaster. That is a full team wipe in favor of Push.
I'll tell you what, Push did not fear the Clown, Hoenn. and just like that, though, the Expo is damaged. They're going to be forced in an awkward position. That bomb not going to kill them. Just 10 seconds remaining, along with a very short penalty count. The Llamas have to
They're
capture
gonna hold
right
it.
now. Slider, but Splashdown counters.
And they do
Push
get-
win game 1.
Push manages to push back against the Llamas. Oh my god, there's going to be so many of those puns in this set. But Push manages to push back and take game 1 against the Llamas. Honestly, pretty close overall. Initially, it seemed like this would be an absolute slaughterhouse, an absolute beatdown by the Llamas against Push with what the Brush did at the very beginning. But yeah, overall, very good on Push to come back from that and take the set. Or the game, not the set, jeez. No, it's not a best of 1, thank God.
Fastest tournament in the West, baby.
Ah, no,
But-
come on, that's an old JPEG tournament. That's not CCA.
That's what I'm referring to. So, wow. Unfortunately, your team won, Hoenn. The Range Blaster won.
Unfortunately.
What the heck? I have to say, it also, which makes it better. I want to point out, for those that don't know, I played previously for a different Big Ten school at PSU. So I have to have extra love-hate for Purdue, you know? So, Purdue getting that win, not only using the Range Blaster and not using Ink Rush,
Struggling to not yell.
better weapon. The better weapon. They're Purdue. Like, come on, another Big Ten school. I'm gonna say is I didn't get to fight Purdue much because they didn't show up. But I'm just come on, I want to fight y'all. But anyway.
We're talking about Push. There's some jokes in the production chat about drug tests, right? That reminds me. I don't know if Push actually is a drug IRL, but there's a game I've played where Push is an actual drug.
That's not what they meant. They meant because this is a wild card team, and Push came in as a wild card team.
I'm playing into that.
And they then made it as a lower seed. They were 8th seed. They were the bottom seed. And they're in winners finals of Division 4. And they're up 1-0.
Yeah. They're doing really well, right? That's why we have a drug testing. And that's why I'm pointing out that, hey, keep in mind that I don't know if it actually is, but Push, at least in one context that I know of, is a drug. The name of a drug. So there you go.
Where is it from? What drug is it from? Is that from what's the space game? Rimworld?
No, Elite Dangerous actually.
Okay.
In this case, but yeah, no, that's a drug in the game. It's not one you use or anything, but it's something you could find sometimes and sell on the black market. But so maybe they're all on Push, and that's why they're winning so well. Totally. Totally.
You know what? I have to bring up something that I think is extra hilarious.
Oh my!
We were talking about Minecraft. Discord just gave me a Minecraft ad for.
We need to swap over right now.
Clearly,
Discord says y'all need to stay on topic. The topic being Minecraft.
They're listening, folks. But
they're always listening. We got Rainmaker on cross leg.
we're back to winners finals Division 4. We are a push versus the NCCS Llamas. We are going to go back
Here's
to
our
a
stats for
Rainmaker
ya.
on crab legs. Hoen, you said you have some stats. What do you see in the stat department?
Well, the Llamas has played on this map 3 times, and they have a 66.7% win rate, which is 2/3, so they've won 2 out of 3. Meanwhile, Push has played on this map 4 times and is yet to win. Map mode combo, to be clear, right? We'll have to see how that goes for them, as we're going to get into it right now. Range Blaster has been put away, but the Brush is still here on the side of Llamas. We'll see how things go here as the opening pushes get underway. Kraken has even more of a reason to dislike the Llamas because, or the Push rather, not the Llamas, because they have an Octo Brush.
By the way, different player. I want to point out, so they swapped out some different players for us. So it's not just the players we saw last time switching. It is, which by the way, this Heavy Edit played Expo last game, but the Brush player did not play in the last time, and the Range Blaster looks to be out that we saw in the last one. And so early game though, neutral, very neutral. Neither team scoring a single point within the first 45 seconds. Barely got in there.
Wow, getting a nice pick with the Rainmaker there as they move it up to the 88 mark. Not much, but you know, it's a start. It's a start. But they do just get that one pick before going down, and it looks like the push is over for now. Speaking of the push, Push is going to go ahead and push up here to try to push the Rainmaker.
We see the Rainmaker reset back to neutral, Hoen. Neither team through this early part has really had a great advantage. We see that this one's, why would you, don't dive down for the Brush, you just made your life, oh, you did not value your life there, Mr. NChat. Well, I shouldn't say Mr. Mrs. Non-binary NZAP, I don't know them. So,
Well, they got the checkpoint, so that's good on Llamas.
Yes, good on the Llamas. They get checkpoints for 1. Crab's gonna stop any more push for now.
I think the Crab is going to help Push, actually.
You're right. Oh, 2 down, Hoen, with one of them.
This is a big chance for them. This is a big chance for the Push against Push to be pushed. But they do get completely wiped. But they do get to the 14 mark. This is Push's chance to push forward and take back some space here. And they're going to need it if they're going to get effectively pretty close to a KO here, to be brutally honest, right? 14 is pretty hard to beat.
Llama said, hey, we can push it real good. And so they're going to go ahead and get that 14-point push, as you pointed out, is a tough one to beat at times. But the push comes back and says, hey, how about we push it to the checkpoint? That's one of the 2 pedestals that we want to break through. So 2 minutes remaining is plenty of time in Rainmaker. The fastest moving mode home.
Yeah, absolutely. In other news, do you think YouTube chat hates us yet?
I honestly would have the moment that literally we opened the entire event. But that I appreciate y'all being here. We have 2 other commentators coming in afterward, and they won't be as crazy as us, I think.
Maybe Push is going to try to defend here. The Brush gets a solid double pick there, as Llamas is going to go ahead and try to push up here. I'm not even intending to make puns there with the word push. I'm just trying to talk about the match. Llama, though, is going to go ahead and they're just going to get picked by the bomb, apparently. Okay.
They were trying to retreat. The game was telling them don't retreat, and they were trying not to retreat there,
It's just like not really much of an opportunity to go up. That's going to give, and the game there is going to give Push the chance to, not get pushed so far back as they attempt to push up themselves.
Look at the dive! They're just going! Look at them zooming with that cooler! Ah, look at him go back! I want to try to push! Oh, no! Ooh, there's a whale!
Push is deciding what to do with their push. Oh, and they get picked at the 32. Oh, that was funny.
I would go forward, I would go back, I would go forward, I would go sideways. Oh, mix it up. I'm going to block and then
Do a bit of a crab dance on crab leg. Push with an excellent pick by the Octobrush here down below. Tri-Strike's coming in to pop that Rainmaker though, or at least try to. Can't tell if it is popped. But Llamas looks like they have it secured for the moment with 15 seconds left. Push is going to have to make a push.
Why would they grab there and let it sit? Oh,
They
why would you
reset it.
Oh,
What in the
Llamas!
world? That was just a completely bad play. This game could be over. I mean, well, it is now. It didn't matter. The brush got him. But, like, that was not a very smart play there, right? Because if they just held it in the corner, right, let's say they had to grab it. Okay, pick it up, right? If it was resetting and they had to pick it up, sure, that's one thing. But then they jumped it off the edge with, like, 5 seconds left. You couldn't hold for 5 seconds in that spot, and that's not, like, the greatest spot for push to push from even if they managed to get the pick there, right? Really, if that brush hadn't gone there, I think this match, there'd be a good chance for this to go a different way. Still, major advantage for Llamas in that part. And regardless of that detail, great job by Llamas. They clearly knew what they were doing on this map. And they, handled it. They took advantage of it and pushed back.
And mind you, that the thing that baffles me with that Rainmaker is Rainmaker, as you point out, is in a better spot for you. They're likely to go up that wall. And mind you, the reset point is further away from that wall, but in that pit, there's still a little bit of distance that is like a third of the distance that they would have to go to travel up the wall too. So like, it's like, yes, technically, it's technically further away, but like the situation that it's sitting, sorry, that one, you gotta leave that shield big in yellow, because they were on the yellow side on that game. Not popped, and so the opposing team has to then pop it in an awkward spot, and then they have to still go up the wall and everything like they would have if on the reset. And then you don't go a person down like they did with the dropping off the map.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, we're currently waiting on our counter pick here. We might be about to get it in, but assuming we are, what do you think we're going to end up? What do you think Push is going to counter pick here? Like, what, based on what you've seen? Well, we have it in, so never mind. We're going to be heading on to
Minecraft.
Got tower control on Ship Shape with Minecraft, apparently.
Neptune has Minecraft on his iPad. He's letting us play it. Oh, thanks. Oh no! Oh, yeah!
And we're starting almost immediately. Real quick, the stats here: we have an 80% win rate on this map mode from the Llamas, and a 66.7 2/3 win rate for Push. So both teams appear to be fairly good on this map. Let's see how it plays out for them.
Yeah. Even set. Pretty even in terms of stats, as you pointed out. We're going to have a good one. Both teams having a lot of range and having a backline, I should say, that can utilize those different great areas. And I think that's going to be that's a big key there. No team really have a big advantage on.
Yeah, absolutely here. I am completely blanking on what I wanted to say. So, my bad.
Does it have to relate to the word push in some fashion?
Probably. But I don't know. Sometimes when you get old, like 20, because that's old in this community apparently, you just start to forget things sometimes randomly.
What'd you say?
Well, when you get old, like 25 in this community, right? You just get forgetful sometimes, Either way, Llamas here. Thank you, Kraken. Thank you. But the Llamas here are making a bit of a push against Push.
By the way, with this being collegiate and some of the players would be in the low 20s likely. There could be some people that have gone back to school older than that, but let's just say the average age here is probably slightly older than the average thing. I mean, these are like old people in the community, everyone here. That's crazy.
Okay.
We're elderly, but they're like, middle-aged. These Splatoon folks.
Where's your boy? We had Bubbler. Like not the big bubbler, like the little one that made you invincible.
Yeah. Back in my day, my ink mines killed in one shot.
Oh,
Anywho,
we're 2 minutes in, and how much of this match have we talked about?
talked about it at all. I love these. Thanks, Llama and Push. You guys don't know what's happening when you guys go watch this VOD back. If you don't watch this VOD back, I'm disappointed in you. But if you want, okay, I'm disappointed in you right now as well. Llamas pushing hard. They get the wipeout, and this is going to be checkpoint 3 falling, Hoenn.
That's a massive push for Llamas here. Push is going to need their own push if they're going to get anything done here. And it looks like they're going to start that push now with a nice triple. But up in the corner, got the Slosher still with the tri-strikes, and they go down. And there's a jump, which they do see, but they do get picked anyways. That's going to be a massive thing for Llamas as it allows them to, well, you know, do a lot more damage and whatnot. But here we go. It looks like Push is going to start their push now, passing the midway point and starting to count down timer. They need to effectively knock out here, and they are already down 2, so it's not looking great.
Yeah, not looking great. Another one goes down. Lily, our low ink player that we highlighted earlier. Getting nice pick. Oh, they don't see the one Sharky on the wall. They're like, now they do. Look at all those buckets firing along that wall, getting the player to dip. And then Salmon Row here comes in and maybe gets 1. There's 1. Can they get 2? They don't get 2, but they help in a second one.
The assist there will definitely help them here. Push is now moving into mid. Tower is currently resetting, and they don't see, the decap does not see the one behind them, and they are going to pay for that with their life here. The Slosher getting another, going after the blaster. They do get right up in their face. Optimal strategy there, and they do take it out. So it's Lily, just absolute devastation here. In fact, you could say that they're pretty hot right now. Maybe 77 degrees, a little hotter than Kraken can handle.
I like 77 though. Oh, the Brush gonna get on cue talking about me. Brush does some stuff. They get 2 plus an assist on another. Hoenn, you every time you brought up me, like the Brush does something. I appreciate you, Brush. You can feel it in your bones. We are all interlinked. We are all one. Brush Nation taking over the world.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, watch. Next time we mention Kraken, it'll become a quad. Right. I mean, we check the technical. There's the double. They don't get the triple. The range blaster gets the direct.
They were behind the jump into. I think they do. And that's a nice slider kill.
Push has to take this tower.
What is that? Okay, that's spectator mode. And hey, they got a knockout. See, it's a knockout. It's a Hoenn. You see, it's a knockout.
Nope. See, Judd says it's 97. It would have been a knockout if they had the time, but
I think that decaf would have probably gotten a kill or 2. To be fair, the decaf would have contested that. But good plays there by the Llamas to secure that game. The Brush hearing, they felt it in their bones. I don't think squids have bones, so they felt it in their ink that they needed to do something. They showed us some great plays. Not to say that Push was a pushover by any means. They gave a couple nice pushes in that game, but the Llamas showing, hey, we got a lot of fight in us. Don't mess with some llamas. We'll spit on you. I think is that alpacas? One of those. Camels. They're all the same animal, right?
I mean, you don't want to get spat on regardless, right? So
yeah.
I think we're good.
Also, we mentioned brushes. Shout out Brush Gang when we do quad brushes. Y'all are awesome. Love y'all. I've shout out Brush Gang. I haven't shouted out TZS. That's crazy.
Kraken just doesn't care for his team anymore. He achieved his objective of winning SAC.
We did talk about him earlier. I'm just trolling. Anywho, any the stats have any insights in terms of what we might see as a counter pick here from
Well-
Push after that last one?
Well, obviously this doesn't take into account specific maps, right? But it looks like Push's best mode here in general is Rainmaker with a 59.3%. It's also their most advantage over the Llamas because Rainmaker is actually their worst mode at 40 even. I'm guessing that it's just, Crab Leg Rainmaker is probably Llamas one of their best Rainmaker modes here, which is why they ended up picking that in game 2 as their counter pick. So perhaps Push is going to go ahead and push back with their own preferred Rainmaker map. But then again, right, maybe they'll go with something else. Otherwise, right, Push, they actually are not better than Llamas statistic-wise in any other mode. The closest they have is Splat Zones, which is 53.6 to 54.2, followed by Tower, 50 even to 53.2, and then Clams, they have 45.5 compared to 52.1. But it looks like they did end up going Rainmaker, but it's on Scorch Gorge. So let me go ahead and pull up the details on that real quick here. Let's go see how...
Everybody get your
pans out.
pickaxes and your shovels. We got to go mine some sand and some sandstone for
Well,
our
that's
big
actually
project.
interesting. This isn't what I expected. So the Llamas, they've played on this 2, 4, 6, about 10 times, and they have a 60% win rate. Push, who made this counter pick, has played on this map 6 times and have a 33.3% win rate. So historically, this is a map that Llamas would be expected to win, even though Push selected it. But of course, we've seen some counter picks that haven't panned out, and that could be what happens here. But obviously, it's a counter pick, right? So it's gonna, they picked it. Obviously, they have some kind of plan and reason for that. Let's see what ends up happening here. We got a lot of brushes, pencil, a lot of buckets, right, instead of brushes. But yeah, the comps pretty much feel the same here. Correct me if I'm wrong, they are the same, aren't they?
I don't. I think they're identical to the last game, so no changing around. Push had changed some stuff up previously. They're gonna go ahead and stick with what they had. They felt a little, hey, we know we lost, but we feel confident in it. And here they go, trying to take it. I try not to use the word pushed again, and it's just too hard. It's too hard, Hoen. They're trying to push up on the ramp, Hoen.
Yes.
And right now, getting 2 down, they have hard advantage here.
Test 1, 2. Am I back? Discord
Yes.
died for a minute.
Hello.
Looking for
Welcome
okay
back, Hoen. I didn't know Hoen
Alright.
you had left us.
Yeah, it's okay. It just went out for a minute. I think we're good though. Yeah, but look, Push is going great for the checkpoint, and they do manage to take that checkpoint. Definitely, doing a lot better here in this first game, than the last one so far. But they are going to get completely slapped by Lily here, and they are Slosher 2 down, and the Rainmaker's going to push up. It looks like the Llamas is going to try to go for their own checkpoint here.
Well, we
assume you
didn't
can
mention
hear me
me, so the
clearly.
brush died. I'm sorry, brush. I should have tried to interject in there. But anywho, it looks like it's going to be a checkpoint for checkpoint, Hoen. Both teams going to go down a ton of players to get the checkpoint, which is why we saw checkpoint for checkpoint.
Full team white on the side of Llamas. So Push is going to have their chance too. I'm trying to come up with words to not push. Yeah, I'm just gonna, that's it. We're just going back to full-blown puns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for
Just
anyone who
saying
thinks
the
that.
word
Yeah,
push as many times as you can.
Yes. So they're going to go ahead and try to push here, but they are going to get stopped by the Ink Brush, who's going to go ahead and move up here, and they're gonna, lag. I can't read the name.
Alibi brush.
Yeah, not the brush. I was referring to the person.
I can't read either. It's okay.
Okay, nah, I wasn't talking about the brush. Actually, I was talking about the person running from the brush. Anywho, that was 3 down on the side of the Llamas, so Push has some room to work here, but the Llamas do have the Rainmaker and are using it to put on gobs of pressure, and with their team now up and ready, they're getting moving here. They're going to try to move past this checkpoint. They do get to pick on the brush here, and we have Clown moving in with the Rainmaker, 2 of them moving in, and we do have a lot of pressure coming in from that Crab. That Crab is going on the side of Land. Evo is going to go ahead and end that push. Which gives Push a chance to push.
What a stalemate game. It looked like it was going to be so good there for a second. There was going to be a lot of points on the board with those back and forth checkpoints. but neither team has passed the checkpoint right now. It is effectively a tied game. Of course, advantage push because they got to 68 first, yeah. But like effectively right now, if you can keep that defensively, you should be happy. If you win with a score of a checkpoint defensively, you can't be mad at yourself. It's offensively, like, hey, we just need to get to that next level. And it gives you a good opportunity as we get into the final, minute and a half here
have their chance
that you can still get a chance to push. Yes.
Llamas getting some pretty big pushes here. They might actually break that checkpoint here. Well, not the checkpoint. They could break the lead, rather. And it looks like they are. In fact, they're going to try to go all the way here. Llamas going for the goal. They get stopped by the heavy Splatling who goes down. And
the Llamas yearn for the checkpoint, Hoen, as a child.
Yeah, they already got it. They already got it. They yearn for
the goal. Sorry, the goal. That's what I meant. I wanted to bring back Minecraft, Hoen.
There's no checkpoints in Minecraft.
But the Minecraft movie. But anywho. Look at the brush. Is like, hey, hold on, wait, I can pop this. Oh, hey, yo, brush.
Takes it down to the 10. 50 seconds left. Push has to come back here, right? They have to take this. They have to take this game, so they have to go all the way, and they go for the reset.
Yeah, I mean, smart reset at this point. 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, probably.
This one is better than the last reset we saw. By far. Like, this one is, hey, at worst, we are stopping the bleeding, and we don't have to go coast to coast. At least this is the Rainmaker's in the center. But Llamas could be really tricky here and just hold backwards and be kind of cringe. But with their checkpoint being broken, I wouldn't do that. If they had held at checkpoint, I would just say run it backwards. Well, but in this case, they get a chance.
Down. They do get the chance. Lily's going up with the strikes to try to stop it.
Lily. Touch it, Lily. No, they don't need to.
Touch it. They take the Rainmaker. And that is game 3 to the Llamas.
They stole it. Lily got the kill and stole the Rainmaker. Said, if I know the rules of the game, if the Rainmaker is in my possession as the game goes into overtime, overtime is ended. And I love that. Great play there by Lily in a 3v1 situation, Hoen. I do want to point out, the same score, 3-1. But a 3v1 situation, Hoen, and they had made a fantastic play to get that pop and grab that Rainmaker.
Yeah, it was definitely a great play on the side of Llamas. Overall, pretty even match, even though the score is 3-1 rather than a game 5. We didn't get any game 5s, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, really good set. Both teams played really well. Definitely great to see Push get this far, considering that they were a wild card in the first place. They got all the way up to winners finals, and they're not done yet. While Llamas might be going to sit in grands and has to be knocked out via bracket reset, Push absolutely could come back through losers, and this could be our grand final set. And you see Push potentially push their way to the top of Division 4. It really depends. We'll have to see what happens.
Hoen, we are not going to be the two to see that, unfortunately. And I think it's probably time for us to get out of here. They want more serious people or something.
Something like
Mizuno is PMing me that we have to have a meeting in 5 seconds. I'm just kidding. Mizuno did not PM me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if they did,
Yeah, I would deserve it.
Yeah, it literally, we go into this, I'm like, you want me and Kraken to commentate? Are you sure? you know what it's going to end up like, right? Exactly this, right?
I had a great time, though, Hoen. It was good. It was good commentating.
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely a blast. We need to get you on for SOS 177 with me. So we just need to go nuts with that. And whatever else, right? People
find you?
Well, if you're looking to find me, you can mostly find me on... Honestly, I don't use socials much, but I do have both Twitter and Blue Sky at HoeenHero on both of those. And when it comes to Discord, you can always find me in the Inkling Performance Labs server. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so. But yeah, what about you, Kraken?
You also forgot to mention that when you have a problem in your Ranbats on Pokemon Showdown, that you might
Oh my
also
god.
be there too. But
You're
that's
not
a story for
no,
another time.
you're not DMing me while I'm working on Showdown. My DMs are blocked on there anyways.
Anywho, you guys can find me at Kraken Mare 77 on pretty much every single social site. Even on YouTube, I stream there and post things there. Something else is going live soon. Some of our SAC stuff. Anywho, shout outs to Neptune, who is our commentator, or our commentator,
Our commentator,
producer,
yeah.
and had to deal with our BS this entire time. Love you, Neptune. Mwah. So we have Spicy and Dart coming to clean up, Hoenn.
Yeah. Maybe we should clean up a little first. We kind of left a mess.
Nah, it's more funny. All right, everybody. Stick around for the loser side of bracket and then grand finals of Division 4 CCA.
All right, folks, here at the CCA, we've had 803 players come together, spread across 148 teams across this entire season, with 4,616 matches played and 120,897.5 points earned across the entire all these players. It's all led up to this single point. 5 circuit qualifiers played, 4 divisions here, and now we have our final 3 teams to see which 2 will be the last one standing for a 1 grand champion. Ladies, gentlemen, and Semifinals in between, welcome to the stage of history. My name is SBF Dark. We're coming at you live here at the CCA for our grand finale for the CCA Circuit.
And joining Dark, it's me, Spicy. I'm so excited for this. I'm so especially happy to have Division 4. I got my start in competitive Splatoon through CCA, and that's a big thing here with a lot of these players. They're getting their jump into the scene, making their own history, writing their own stories, and I'm loving that. You mentioned a lot of numbers, and yes, there are a lot of numbers on the that we mentioned. 803 players, 148 teams. A lot of points, over 4,000 matches, but in the end, one winner of D4, which I'm so excited to get to. We got losers finals coming up, and then followed up by grands. Amazing stuff we're going to be seeing tonight.
Yeah, everything. A lot of numbers being thrown around, and it's a very big, impactful season too. You know, like these players have done a lot, and it's a new format, so it may not like. Some of these players are like still kind of getting used to their swinging team with the circuit, but I personally really like the circuit a lot. And seeing all that had to all come down to this Division 4 Grand Finals, as you mentioned, we're here to kick things off with our losers finals, which I believe is going to be pushed, which we just saw here, folks, with our last vlog. Shout out to Kraken and HoeenHero, as well as SSU Esports.
Yes, Sonoma State out of SSU here. Coming in with the losers run push, as we just saw, having a great run of their own. Wild card team in Division 4, barely making it into day 2, and then they steamroll their way up until winners finals, and here we are, game 1 of this set. This should be an absolute classic here. We're starting off at Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market.
Zone's Hagglefish Market. It is a tried and true, folks, that people love this stage specifically. I also really like playing it, and I'm very eager to see exactly what's going to be done here, folks, as we kick it off our losers final, see who's going to be crowned our grand champion.
That immediately getting a look to the opening columns and just seeing all of these teams just are rushing in towards mid, trying to establish zone control early on. A little bit of a mix so far. Push going to be able to get the first cap here, but they are going to lose the zone fairly quickly. Re-establishes control once again, though, and you see that this team has been playing so well today, and they're trying to do what they can to just get back into grand finals. But after all of this, actually, you see Push now actually in the yellow are going to be able to make a move, have control of the zone, and try to take the lead here, and now pushing all the way forward now.
Good opening hold by Push. They're pushing this as Esports back to their spawn. Make sure they're keeping them on as long as they can to stall out those points to get as much of a head of the lead as they can. In charge coming up from SSU to try and flush out Push as best they can, especially using the guys with Tacticaler on top of them to go and get ready for their own engagement here. Push just fortifying on the zone here to try and see how long they can hold on for the zone long enough, but no, the Butler comes up to try and occupy some space, and then I push the paint, and they do get that flip in return.
Yeah, now you see SSU have an opportunity to do something here. Zone immediately flipping back thanks to that splashdown here as Push once again in control of this zone. You see them trying to just maintain control at this point, starting to really push forward, taking down the members of SSU one by one as they're starting to stagger in. They're throwing specials to try and capitalize off of this, but you see Push's offense has been so strong at this point, and they're just looking to hold on to control, and they're now out of their penalty.
Definitely, and some would think with an exposure versus a heavy edit as the backline against these two against a team comp like this, the heavy edit might have the advantage here, but no, Push has been able to use that exposure to absolute perfection here to zone out SSU, to keep them pushed back. The tandem is coming out to try and scatter Push out, and it does scatter a little bit, but it may not do put the impact that you need, as Push is still here contesting the zone, trying to make sure they can reclaim mid as best they can.
and SSU now with the opportunity to potentially try and take the lead. They have the potential to do so here. Strikes already in play. The zone is still in a neutral state at this point. Going back and forth between the blue and orange, but no one is able to cap just yet here. Push potentially about to secure the zone at this point. Maybe not though. Couple members going down on each side at this point. Here's Push once again. Finds control of the zone. They're trying to see if they can hold on for longer though here. Tents and missiles are locked in. Splashdown coming out. One member going down from the side of SSU as Push is just trying to maintain control here. Trying to pick out every single member of SSU who's trying to get back in. But the zone once again losing control, and we are approaching the final 2 minutes of this game, and it still feels too close to call.
Both of these two teams have been neck and neck here, man, to try and leverage any amount of advantage they have over one another. As soon as we see one pick goes out, and then they're gonna come out on top of another trade, but now Push looks like they finally have the advantage here. 18-6 remaining on this fast zone, and with 3 down from SSU Esports, I think they're sitting pretty here to just stall out, slide this out for a stall out. Another player goes down for SSU. Push is able to win this first game with ease.
Yeah, and it came down to that last push from Push, just being able to take control of that zone and then taking the fight over to SSU, kind of just locking them out. You saw on that mini-map there a lot of the yellow-orange just being on the map towards the SSU side, SSU spawn, and SSU just didn't have what it takes to come back into this game, but Push with a great start to this set overall, going up 1-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Push was doing a phenomenal job just keeping SSU pushed back as far back and as well as they did. That ramp really is a very hard thing to try and get through if you're properly set up. And so it is SSU's game here to try and figure out, like, if they get locked out like that again, what can they be doing to try and break through that? We are in a best of 5, so there are multiple opportunities to try and figure out Push and see if they can crack what makes Push tick here. But we're just gonna be waiting here now to see what our next map mode, as we are in counter picks, so we're gonna be seeing exactly what SSU is gonna be bringing to the table here next.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see what is SSU going to be doing from the counter pick side of things here. Knowing this team and knowing what modes they've typically gone on, I could see them going like Rainmaker here. They have like an 80% win rate on that. Been one of their tried and true modes here. But it's really a matter of seeing what is going to be our options at this point. It looks like they're actually going to be going to splat zones here. It looks like Umami splat zones as the pick here. So we are going to zones once again now. But instead of Haggle, which was only one zone, Umami having 2 zones should be interesting to see how they play around it.
I mentioned this time again, but I absolutely love the split zone format. I just love the utter chaos that these players and teams need to try and manage with trying to deal with 2 zones in order for contention, in order for just to make sure you get proper holding and seating. It's just a fun blast to watch, regardless of who you, at least in my opinion, regardless of what division and what team you are. I always enjoy watching it, but I know some people just don't really like this map mode.
It's divisive, I can say the least here. Like, I have mixed feelings on it. Umami I've grown to like here with the double zones, but yeah, chaotic for sure. And especially you see it a lot at D4, where it's like it comes down to like the last like 45 seconds or so, and the losing team's like, we got to get both control of both zones, and that's what makes it so stressful at times, knowing that you need control of 2 zones near the end. If you want to get any type of points down, you need control of both zones. Having the awareness, the team play, that coordination, and really just the painting power just to get control of both is so pivotal. And we're going into game 2 once again, splat zones, and seeing what we got coming through. Push with a very similar fairly similar comps across both sides. Exciting to see how this ends up playing out.
I see a range blaster on one side, and I'm very much excited for that. I am a blaster player myself through and through, so I will use any excuse to try and accommodate this blaster as best they can. Push already going in, trying to go to the opening again, but no, they are 1 down already. SSU Esports putting the gas to the pedal here, as they're just trying to keep Push back down as best they can. Tactical was online for Push, but they are unfortunately 2 down, meaning they have to back up a little bit and get ready for the next team fight here, as SSU are getting ready for their own hold.
And there's so many bombs being thrown from the side of Push, and you see that that kind of bomb play has transitioned into a 2 down now from SSU, and after SSU with a great opening Push responding with their own now, being able to just take control of both zones, and they're starting to work their way up forward once again and try and to negate the SSU lead that was built up early on in this game. The strikes aren't going to meet their mark here, but you see the missiles in the bubble coming out as well. 1 point lead is in from Push, but look at this now. Multiple players going down on the Push's side as SSU holds on defense.
In the nick of time, right before the lead could be flipped, SSU Esports comes in and takes one zone, neutralizes it before taking the other zone, and they're still in the lead. And with their penalty points good and almost good as gone at this point, they're going to be able to try and finally extend that lead even further here. Now, as Push are slowly getting ready for their own push here. Push past that ramp, pushing up against SSU Esports, but they're still holding strong. Inktrax coming in to slow them down, and now pushes down a player once again.
Oh, and SSU goes 3 down. What an insane sequence of events as Push ends up transitioning that into a wipeout. They are going to have control of both zones now, and the points are going to start ticking away. And you see Push once again moving on up, starting to pick off the members of SSU and negating the space to lock in. It's a bit of a choke point right here as Push works their way out of their penalty, has an opportunity to potentially take the lead where you're down into the single digits now in terms of a deficit. The strikes from SSU are coming out now, but it might be a little bit too enough, just enough to take control of one zone, buys them a little of time, and now Push once again has the control of the zone and is able to take the lead here. Insane sequence of events.
Holding on as best they can. Push just narrowly squeaks by with the lead off right there before SSU Esports are finally being able to get Push flushed out, get pushed back up to their side of the map, but they still haven't been able to cap that second zone, finally being able to cap it. As they're lost a bit of penalty points here that they could have had it in through already, but before Push is finally retesting the other zone. Now they're looking to try and punish SSU Esports but as best they can, going in from multiple angles, going in with any sources they can. The Brains Blaster just trying to see exactly who they can put out first, but SSU Esports pops the Ink Strike, goes into zones out Push. The Splat Bomb from downtown, unfortunately gets the best now, meaning Push has to give some room for SSU Esports as they're just one third striking on the left side, going in for an impossible make no before getting shut down, 3 down for a Push.
All of this, and SSU still needs to get control of the zone. They are so close to working their way out of their penalty and potentially taking the lead here. And SSU has control of the zone now. They're about to get out, and they are going to be able to take the lead. At least a 2-point lead here before the zone going back into a neutral state. SSU barely holding on to this point as you see multiple members down on each side. Insane sequence of trades as we are seeing on the map right now. SSU has control of the zone, but with 90 seconds left to go, it's still too close to call.
It can still go either way, folks, even though SSU Esports has the lead here. Push is just showing that they are not going down with the fight at all. As they get those picks, as they get the zone neutralization here, they can maybe even flip it here if they play their cards right. Just 1-2 players remaining from SSU Esports. Push desperately trying to make sure that they can get that last player down and out here before they can finally cap the zone. And they do cap the zone. 1 minute remaining, giving us SSU Esports as we head into these final last moments of this game.
This last minute is setting up to be something else for sure. You see that both teams are fighting for control of either zone here, trying to take control of both. And SSU and Push just trying to do something here. Push is going to be able to take control of the zone once again. They still have the penalties to work through as well as more than 10 points to go here. But 30 seconds to go. SSU falling down. Push also starting to lose a couple members here. These last 25 are going to be setting up for something. 2 members of Push go down. They have control of the zone though. It's a matter of seeing, do they have what it takes to really break through here? They're about to be out of their penalty, but never mind. SSU decides they're going to be able to take control of at least one zone. And now once again, you have to have control of both zones here to force an overtime situation if you are Pushed. But they go 2 down. SSU has enough members on the board at this point, and the strikes should be out. And that could be the dagger here, as it looks like SSU equalizes the set.
Man, oh man, Push was trying to hold on there to the very end to see if they could potentially get SSU Esports properly flushed out so they can finally take control here, but no, SSU Esports was able to show that they will not give up under any amount of pushback from Push as they hold on to that game and take it down at the very last second.
A last second indeed, and that game was so back and forth the entire time, and that's what we want to see here in losers finals of D4. They're basically evenly matched teams, and the great thing is now, because both teams won on splat zones, the rest of the set is determined on the other game modes. So it's a matter of seeing now Push's counter pick. What are they going to be going here? Because statistically, Rainmaker is their best mode, but SSU's best mode is also Rainmaker. So so what are we going to be seeing here? There's tower control, clan blitz, and there's still the maps to be determined too. Anyone's guess on what we're going to be seeing next.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be probably a wild card pick here, folks, as to see exactly what's going to be popping up here next. But speaking of the wild card, let's not forget, folks, that was actually one of our Division 4 wild card picks. And on top of that, too, they were barely able to squeak by with coming into day 2 here, folks. They were almost eliminated yesterday in day 1 during the Swiss portion of this tournament here. So they're on the lifeline once again. Their backs are constantly to the walls, and they're showing that they will not give up here no matter what pressure is pushing them down. They will try and make it to the very end.
And on the counterpoint here, SSU has had a great run as well. Yes, they were kind of favored in a way, but the important thing to note from SSU right now, they lost their first set today. So they've had to crawl all the way from losers bracket just to make it here. And like they went 2-1 against Clark, 2-0 against VCU, 2-1 against Drexel, and here they are. And this is the fun thing is that's only a 4-player roster on SSU. So this is a team with a lot of chemistry. They've been through all the ups, all the downs now, and they don't want to see their season end. And each team here has to win 2 more games to get into grand finals against Newmont. So this is going to be great here. I'm so excited to get into game 3.
Yeah, this is definitely where the pressure starts to be stacking because, as you mentioned, SSU Esports, they had virtually a losers-only run here. They've been on their last lifeline this entire time today, so the pressure is definitely going to be still stacking here for them. And of course, Push, they've done so much work to make it this far, to make it so that they can say that they made it past the wild card break. They made it past day 1 before almost getting eliminated. So Push has a lot on the line here to prove themselves that they really are going to be the ones moving on to grand finals. And we're going to see exactly what these two teams will be bringing to the table, giving it their all on Rainmaker Scorch Gorge.
And Rainmaker Scorch is a very common map mode selection here, and I'm so interested in how both of these teams are going into Rainmaker, knowing that this is basically, at least the numbers will say, these are their best modes. So it's like winning on this is so pivotal, and like, does it mean like whoever loses this, are we going back to Rainmaker in game 4? We gotta switch it up. But game 3 is always so pivotal, especially when the teams are tied at 1-1 and when they're this equally matched. Any slight advantage you have is going to be so critical here. And I'm really curious, and I'm really wanting to see what are these teams going to be bringing out in this next game.
Yeah, this game 3 definitely is the tempo control for the remainder of this set. Especially now, as you mentioned, Spicy, 1-1. These teams have shown that it can swing either way, but with winning this game here, it is so important for either team to try and make it further here in this losers finals. And I'm very interested as well to see exactly what both of these two teams are bringing. We've seen I'm pretty sure between the first game and the second game, there really wasn't too much of a weapon comp switch up between both of these teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are some of the same weapons here. I just see the Cavitator, the NZAP, and the Heavy Edit come back once again. Very similar team comps, but there are a few key notable differences here too.
Yeah, a couple notable differences here. You see the ballpoint coming out from Push. Interesting option as well. And there's a lot of similarities from these comps overall in terms of how they want to be playing this. So it's going to be coming down to like the execution of things. As you see SSU, they caught the Rainmaker right away, but Salmonroe and the rest of Push immediately denies them. The Cat's Cooler already up from the side of Push. They're able to pick up the Rainmaker and try to see if they're going to be able to get anything else going. But they're going to get shut down. And look at this. Every member is starting to fall. Multiple members down on both sides to start.
A bloody opening by these two teams, just fighting it, giving it their all here with that control over the Rainmaker, but now pushes down one player. SMU Esports with Rainmaker and they're looking to try and maybe get a few points on the board. Killer Well does come out from Push to try. It is way a push there from SSU Esports, and with Ink Strikes coming in for SSU Esports, it might come a little too late there as the Rainmaker's drop. There's only 2 players up right now for SSU Esports as Push holds on to that ramp, not letting any inch go here.
I don't want to give up anything at this point. It's 1 minute through the game. We've only seen 6 points scored so far. The Rainmaker is going to reset. SSU does go 3 down though. Push has the opportunity to not only break the bubble, but try and get some extra points on the board here. They're making that push over to that right checkpoint, and they are going to be able to barely move around, but you see all those bombs, all those specials, and the SSU defense. Not only do they hold, but they force push into a 3 down.
Artillery coming in from SSU Esports, the ink strikes, the bombs, everything coming to stop that push from Push, and it did work here. But now Push knows that's something they gotta be worried about here coming up for their next push here. But first they gotta worry about the push from SSU Esports as they're pushing with that ramp. They're going in to get ready for that Rainmaker here, getting close to a dunk, but no, they get shut down by the bomb points.
And the shutdowns defense from both sides has been amazing at this point. Neither team has even really come that close to the checkpoint yet. And you see now, Lenovo is going to be able to have that inkjet really start to put some pressure on, but they're the only one up from the side of Push. SSU has been doing a great job on defense on their own here. They're not going to be able to find the ballpoint yet, but they are going to be able to have the Rainmaker have an opportunity to make a push here. But this is where Push has shown to be so strong. The defense, once again, just holding everything down so far. Radio Ghost is in a lot of pressure right now, but it's able to sneak by both members of Push at this point, and they're staying alive somehow. Look at this kind of movement, just being able to just flank around, being able to use the protection, the natural protection of the map to their advantage. They're holding on Rainmaker for dear life, trying to find an opening, but Push is making it so hard, and eventually SSU falls.
No one said SSU's game here, folks, but it may have backfired just a little bit as that Rainmaker didn't go that far here from their holdings, but Push is down 2 players, so SSU does have potentially another opportunity to pick up that Rainmaker and potentially get a few extra points here, finally breaking through Push here, but no, Push is still set up on this map. Push still has the advantage, and that Rainmaker is dropped once again. Even though these two teams are neck and neck here, the few points that have been scored is giving Push the advantage, but with the SSU Esports coming in with the ink strike, they're looking to try and make a breakaway here to potentially sneak past this lead, but no, the jet comes in, but that might not have been the right play as they barely sneak away with the lead.
And it's not even a big lead at this point either. The Rainmaker hasn't even hit the checkpoint on either side yet. Push still has an advantage, but as I say something, SSU breaks through the checkpoint, and that feels like such a big lead at this point. Yes, it's only 6 points in a check, but SSU with the checkpoint, such an advantage. Then the Tenta missiles coming in clutch with the strikes and the Rainmaker as well as they extend the lead a little bit as we approach the final minute of this game.
Lead may be the key here for SSU Esports to be able to hold on to the very end and get the push as they have the Rainmaker. They're getting ready for the O push here. One player does go down for pushes. SSU Esports are slowly backing up big just so they don't all fall one by one to push as that Rainmaker has had the buttons already. Both players from to push are looking to try and get that integral pick, but they do get picked out unfortunately. As we had 37 seconds remaining in this game, this could still go either way.
It's so close right now. Last 30 seconds of this game. And once again, we are set in the end game here. SSU popping strikes, trying to... Oh my gosh, the strikes find 2! And that could be an insane dagger at this point. And they get a wipe! SSU has clinched a lot of points onto this point. They're going to try and keep this further here. And you see, they might have actually led into an overtime situation. Push has forced OT at least. But now, the look at that lead. What an insane play here as Push, and now has one last gasp.
1 minute, that's all they have here, folks, to try and break through. Maybe
Missiles.
a minute and a half if they can break through that checkpoint, folks. But this is going to be very intense here as Push are looking to try and sneak back. But the bomb comes in and shuts that Rainmaker down.
What a game. Oh my gosh, what a game. What did we just see? It was so crazy because like when we think of Rainmaker, we think of explosive pushes. We don't necessarily always think of like really strong defense, but that like the first 4 minutes of this game was just pure defensive clinics from this team. And it really, not until the end did SSU get that big push, and that big push was so powerful there, but like, wow. Wow.
Yeah, what that map really boils down to is like if you can get that integral few picks off of ramp, the entire thing really crumbles away, and that's why it's so integral to hold on that ramp as best you can. For you lose the 2 players that may not have initially have been such a big deal, losing them in mid, losing them on the ramp means that you just make so much clearance for the enemy team that they're able to get that checkboard, and they're able to potentially even get a few more points after that, leading to that huge lead that SSU Esports got there at the very end, all because they got the impactful 2 picks from those tri-strikes there.
Yeah, and like let's talk about the strikes from SSU. They've come in clutch that entire game. We saw the ending there where the strikes got 2, and it's not always easy to find picks off of a strike. But you go back to like earlier in that game where you mentioned like the artillery coming out from the SSU defense. Like you saw the bombs and you saw the strikes on defense just being so good. It's so easy and so difficult at the same time to get value off of your tri strikes. And when you do get that value, it comes off so clutch. And Sonoma State, what a game here. But push, they're down to their last game of the season potentially, but still not out of it yet, especially because it feels really close still.
Most definitely. This is where pushes are being pushed up against the wall, folks. Their backs are cornered here, but they are used to this situation time and time again, barely squeaking by to get even further into this run. So even though pressure is stacking, I have full faith that push at the very least is able to take this to a game 5. So mostly because I trust in their capability to perform, but also because as an entertainer here on the commentary said, I would love nothing more than seeing a game 5 against these 2 teams, because man, oh man, these first 3 games already have been so entertaining to watch, so close that taking it to game 5 would just only add to the drama.
I agree. I selfishly want a game 5 just for the drama, for like the storyline that's being built here. I imagine if you're Sonoma State, you want to just get this set over with and then focus on grands. Push, they know they have to force a game 5 here. But when we going in, before we get to a game 5, we got to get through a game 4. And once again, we're going back to Rainmaker. And this time, Rainmaker humpback pump track. And if that first Rainmaker game told us anything, this one is going to be so good.
Oh yeah, I am very excited. I really like seeing this map mode for Rainmaker. It is a very the terrain is very volatile, folks. As I mentioned time and time again whenever I'm casting this map mode specifically, that there really is like 3 weapon types that really like this map. And it's blasters, it's rollers, and it's buckets. Those 3 weapon types with the terrain, with how it's all laid out, you will use those weapons, you can really take advantage of the corners, of the ledges, of the verticality. There's so many things you can really pull off, like some cheeky stuff you can pull off here that I would be surprised if we see any swap offs off of those weapon types.
Yeah, I'm looking through like the data we have on both of these teams here. Push does have an Explo, so we could be seeing that start to come into play as well. We know they've liked brushes in the past, so there's potential there. You know that Sonoma State has rocked that Flameser roller a lot through this set, and the Tenta missiles have also got an incredible value from their side. So we could see a lot of that here. But like, if you're Push, I know they've rocked a lot of the same weapons here, but if there's any time to maybe have like a secret weapon. It might be right now when your season is on the line. If I see something that we have not seen in a while, I'm going to be losing my mind, at least a little bit.
Yeah, that's one part of what I like to call like the toolbox strategy, is where like you have like so many like weapons that you can like really realistically like properly rely on, that you can just keep those pocketed away for most of your tournament run, and then bring it out when you really need to switch things up, or when you really need to put, like, if you're in a corner like this and Push, when you really need to put SSU off their game, off their balance, just surprise them with something you haven't played. For all we know, we could just see a Rapid Blaster come out from Push, and it could be the weapon that really wins this game, you know? It's just, I like toolbox. that's, oh.
Oh, and speaking of a toolbox, Push apparently is making a substitution as well. So you never know here. Maybe we have the Rainmaker humpback specialist coming into play here, or just the Rainmaker specialist overall. Like, now this is like when you have a substitution coming in with season on the line, you know there's a ton of confidence here. So now if you're Pushed, you're going in knowing like, hey, yes, we lost that first Rainmaker game, but we were so close. Now we have Humpback. We have a substitution coming in. We know what to do. Make those adjustments. We're gonna try and force that game 5, and I'm so excited to potentially see what's gonna be happening next.
Yeah, and seeing this really does boil down to like a small internal argument I have whether what's more consistent, a good like rotation of players who have like wide variety of weapons under their belt, or 4 consistent players who play the same weapons every single time and play the same way and play together for so long. This is really the culmination of what is probably going to win out here, depending on which one is in this circumstance, the better team type. But both these two teams are breaking away here in mid to try and get that opening here.
Yeah, and you see that SSU has actually swapped Splattershot Jr., so could be interesting to see how that plays out for them. And we see the Octobrush coming out for push. Both 2 members on each side go down early. And within 20 seconds here, once again, neither team has really been able to make a move with the Rainmaker right away, as the neutral game has been so intense so far.
Highly contested here, just back and forth fighting between these two teams. But SSU does have the tactical online on top of his own tactical. It's a fight for who can just leverage it the best here, but SSU does get 2 picks here against push, meaning they do get that Rainmaker checkpoint pop, and they're looking to try and extend their lead even further using the Wavebreaker. Clears the space, finally going down here against push, using all tools that they have, but there's still 3 now for push. SSU Esports be able to try and break away to get the plan to few points, potentially even that game here. Just like that, folks, SSU takes this game away from push.
And SSU has punched their ticket into grand finals with a dominant game in Rainmaker there. You just saw so many great plays from SSU at that point, and the losers run continues. Loses the first set of the day, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna claw our way all the way back into grands. It doesn't matter if we have to take the difficult way. We are here in grand finals, and what a run here from SSU so far.
They really just decided to lock in here at that last game. I think that was one of the quickest games we've seen here on finals for day 2. Because how fast was that even? Do we even have a replay from that with how fast that game was? Like I literally, there was one team fight lost, and they got the checkpoint, and they're like, okay, this is a good time for push to try and reorganize, get ready for this next upcoming push. And then I looked up and they were down 3 again. I was like, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything they can do to recover from that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there from push. They just lost 2 team fights, and that was game. And that's just sometimes that's what we alluded to what Rainmaker could be when it's just those 2 explosive pushes at the end. But gotta give a quick shout out to push. What an insane season, as we were talking about. They barely even made it into the circuit finals. The wild card pick scraped their way into day 2, barely getting almost on the verge of elimination, and then an amazing run. 3rd place in D4 finals is nothing to be ashamed of. And really, and you know that Purdue has had such a great program with so many historic teams here, but what a great season for Push, even if this is the end of it for them today.
Push has done an extraordinary job, so be proud for what you did today. Do not go home upset because you made it this far, and that's more than what the other teams have said so far. I don't know the exact numbers for Division 4 as to team count, but there are 148 teams that played in this circuit. So you are top 3 in Division 4. That's something to be proud of. But man, oh man, what a set that was. And with that set wrapping up, we are going to be going straight into grand finals. Our final 2 teams here in Division 4, going SSU Esports, who we just saw witness, going up against NCCS Llamas.
And you want to know the great thing here is Sonoma State, their one loss today was to Newmont College of Computer Science. So this is a rematch of what we saw earlier today. SSU loses the first set of the day to the Llamas, and like, no, we're going to play them again. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take. We're going to come back into grand finals, and we want that rematch. And what a storybook finish we could be having here today. In the first set, the Llamas and CCS did win 3-0, but maybe SSU has warmed up over the course of the day, and judging that last game especially,
Mhm.
this feels like a completely different team to what they were at the beginning of Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a run back for SSU Esports. They want that grand finals champion title here, and now this is their opportunity to prove all that they learned today against NCCS Llamas earlier today. The run they've done through here in losers bracket to make it this far, to make it back into winners for grand finals. This is gonna be the culmination of everything they put together, not just the season, but today, Sunday, here at our day 2 for the circuit, what they can do, what can they show off, and how can they run it back against the Llamas.
Yeah, and I think the run back is definitely possible here. Like, keep in mind that NCCS, they've had a great run for sure, but they also had a little bit of a break. Meanwhile, you have SSU who is playing on fire right now, and sometimes the only thing you need is momentum, and we'll keep coming back to that here. And if SSU gets off to a hot start here in Grands, we might see a bracket reset here and force a second set. You never know at this point here. The grand finals is where all the drama happens, and I'm living for it.
A bracket reset would be I think grand finals reset would be like the perfect storybook conclusion for this. Regardless of whoever does that reset there, just to say that SSU Esports were able to bring it back on the first set in grand finals against them and taking them down. I think that would be a very good thing. But of course, folks, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. We still have to play our first games here, which these two teams are still gearing up for.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. We know that these teams are going to be absolutely in a great thing here. We know that we're going to be starting off on a Splat Zones mode, typical of the rule set here. But then when you go into the counter picks, there's so many different ways could play out. SSU, we've talked about this, they're like Rainmaker specialists. So that's like insane here. And NCCS, they're statistically their worst mode is Rainmaker. On the flip side, you see that SSU kind of struggled on Clam Blitz. At NCCS, pretty solid on Clam Blitz. So it's like, it's really going to come down to how the set plays out. So whoever wins game 1 is going to have such an advantage to start off right away.
Yeah, that this first game, even though it's so stressful to say or to hear for these two teams, this first game is so important. It is so important for how the rating matchups is going to be like, because you get that first counter pick, which could set you up for a good snowball, or it could be the thing that ultimately undoes your momentum here. If it's just that this first game is going to be very important for these two teams.
For sure. And it looks like we're going to be going into Splat Zone's Robo Ramen to start off grand finals. This could play out in a lot of different ways. We're going right into the game. Both these teams hungry for a Division 4 championship. See what the opening comps are going to be coming out here. And double bucket looks from the Llamas. Meanwhile, SSU rocking the same thing they've been doing pretty much all day, it looks like.
Llamas opting for a more just skirmishing, close-range fighting power here with the 3 frontliners against with the 1 pencil, but it could be SSU Esports who are able to abuse that skirmishing power towards their advantage, just playing properly spread out so they can't get the picks they need. That first pick does go for SSU Esports. A beautiful patient play there as they're now going in using the tactical as well as the bubbler and the sentimental specials being popped left and right, folks. It's just utter madness just to try and hold on to this zone.
And that's what you want to be seeing if you're SSU. Yes, the Llamas have some great fighting capabilities up in the front line, but if SSU is able to pick them off, then SSU's painting power especially really starts to come into play, and the special coordination has been on point from this side overall. But look at these plays here from the Llamas. 3 down, make that a wipe as NCCS responds. They're out of their penalty now, trying to see if they can take the lead.
Now they're the ones who are going to be pushing up against SSU Esports, trying to make sure they can lock him out for as long as they can. Special being the first one to use here is the refighter. Bubbler does come up for SSU Esports in the middle of the Llamas here, folks, as they're just going in to try and cause some chaos, tries to cause some distraction, making them spread out, especially with the tentative missiles and the spot with the strikes comes in here. They do get the zone flip, but they're not going to be able to hold it for much longer, and the Llamas are able to come back and get one, potentially a second pick here from the back line.
Yeah, and this brush once again putting on so much pressure here, finding a third later on as well. Oh, they're gonna keep on going. Gets a second double here, as you see that Albi is going on fire right here. It's gonna be so hard to shut them. They find a long-range pick with a splat bomb. They cannot be denied here, as NCCS has worked their way. They're still going. They still have to win. There's another pick on the board. Albi cannot be denied. They will not be shut down, as the Llamas are holding on strong so far.
On a rampage, Albi showing that they want this grand champion title here. They want to end this set as fast as they can. Now only 10 ticks remaining for the Llamas, finally going down. 2 picks down for the Llamas. SCU Esports needs to take that zone in time, but they were a bit too slow. There were just a few eagle just out from being able to neutralize it and singing this guy for a little bit longer, meaning that CCS Llamas takes his first game very dominantly.
We have to talk about the brush play from NCCS. Albi, or what have we just seen? A number of picks. The fact that we start off from going from a double and they find another. Then they go back. And then they keep finding more. And after all of this, they just keep finding extra picks. And that is so difficult. And they're mixing it up too. There was a bomb in play that got something. The killer whale adds in so much pressure. That is such perfect usage of the ink brush right now. If Kraken Mare is still watching, you can know they're popping off. Like, they are so happy right now, because what insane plays from the Llamas, and what a great way for them to take that first game. But SSU, even though they lost that first game, you saw how close they were to potentially taking it back near the end. Had a little more time, maybe they could do something here. I wouldn't count out SSU just yet.
Yeah, I think at the end there, they really were just out from of just a few frames, maybe even a second or two, from being able to not fully capture, but just at least neutralize the zone so they can buy themselves a little bit more time. They were pushing the Llamas back there at the very end, and it's just the unfortunate thing is they just kind of ran out of time. And part of that fact goes to the fact that Albi, the brush player, was able to go on such a rampage that they weren't able to push past them until right at the very end, when they had no other option other than just try and run in and maybe get the opportunity to pick off that brush and get their opening started. But what that game was, man, that really was just an opener.
That was such a great opener. I won't lie. I forgot it was splat zones after a while, just because you just saw they all be just everywhere, typical of what you would see in team deathmatch in any other game. But it's okay, yeah, we're just going to be seeing Albi just go off with this brush there. It's it's so hard to focus on painting the zone when you have such a strong thing here. But we're going back to zones for game 2. Marlin Airport is apparently the map here. Did I read that right?
Marlin,
oh my gosh.
I didn't even know Marlin was in the map rotation. I'm gonna be honest. I've never seen this map played in the entire time I've been casting the CCA this season, only to see it get picked here in grand finals.
You have to have something up your sleeve if you are counterpicking Marlin in grand finals. That is something crazy here from Sonoma State. I have to see what they're going. Okay, apparently they are reconsidering, and if that's the case here, I was so excited for Marlin Airport. We never get to talk about Marlin. We are going to Umami. Okay, more tried and true. We saw this earlier today, so it could be a great map mode for them.
We've already said our piece about Umami. I really like the zone setup of this map mode specifically, but I am disappointed that they backpedaled on that Marlin Airport pick. I feel like that they should have stuck it through. Where is your pride? Where is your honor? Go egotistical here and do the Marlin pick. But I am not a player. I am a caster, so I cannot be saying these things, and I have to make it with an asterisk statement here. Smile.
Yeah, we're going to see pretty much similar comps here from both sides once again, trying to see who's going to be able to establish control of the zones now. You see that both zones are starting to be capped early by their each side, but Llamas don't even have control for 1 second here as it's going so crazy. 1 point has gone scored at this point now, but the SSU has held strong here on defense. They're trying to get a few more members down, but the Reef comes in, pops that bubble, missiles flying, a lot of specials online, and just being in action here as neither team really able to secure much control as we're still pretty much in a neutral game.
Neutral game here as Llamas are desperately trying to make sure they can maintain as best control as they can, but 2 goes down for SSU, 1 goes down for Llamas. It could still technically go either way, depending on how these next few plays goes. Another 2 goes down for Llamas, and SSU Esports finally has the opportunity here to push up and use the Inktrack to try and clear out the zone, and finally take control. But the Reef side comes in from the right side and clears off that zone. Once again, Tacticaler is in use right here on top of the bubbler, but they're still struggling to maintain control as soon as they rotate to one side to the other, they get picked up one by one, and eventually that's a delayed wipeout as NCCS Llamas finally takes control.
Yeah, and that is insane here. SSU is also has something that we very rarely ever see, where they have 100 points remaining as well as a penalty, which I don't think I've seen that in a long time. But once again, you're seeing Lily now from the Llamas just finding all these picks. First it's the brush, now it's the slosher. It's so hard to shut down the Llamas once again on a rampage, as you've been discussing. And here we are. SSU has to find something. They gotta dig deep because the Llamas are in control right now.
I genuinely think Collegiate out Albie is the MVP here, as they're just constantly getting the picks, constantly getting these skirmishes here. Unfortunately, getting blocked by the Tacticaler there from getting that, but that could have been a very good 2 kills there, and now it's just for a very decent 1-for-1 trade, and now SSU Esports finally has the opportunity here to try and maybe maintain control here in mid, but NCCS Llamas are too dominant here. They're able to keep SSU put down for as long as they have, and now there's only 5 points remaining before SSU Esports are finally able to take control out of at least one of the zones, giving the penalty points to the Llamas.
Yeah, and that's such a huge clutch from SSU. Back against the wall. This time they're able to secure it. They're able to force a big penalty onto the Llamas, and now they're able to work their way through the zone, trying to work their way through these points. It's quite a big deficit they have to crawl through. They basically have to knock out at this point. But SSU has shown they have the capability of doing so at Albie once again. They're gonna get a trade, fall in the process, but here we are. SSU still has a lot of potential to make something happen. They have the missiles online. They are gonna pop. Locks on a 2, and there's quite a potential here for something to happen. Multiple members on both sides starting to go down. The strikes also come into play here, and it's looking like the Llamas now have control of the zone, at least for now.
Right now, folks, we are in the peak of just utter Splatoon madness. They're just constant fighting, constant specials being used, bombs are being thrown everywhere, but SSU Esports finally holds on to mid, finally pushes Llamas back to their spawner, as they're now getting ready for the first time here in this match, folks, to be able to lock the Llamas out, as the spawning points are finally gone. SSU Esports are gearing up, get ready for this incoming push here by the Llamas, as they come in with they come in with Killer Whale. They're going in. Albie again. Comes in from the back line and is able to get 1 pick and cause the mayhem on the point.
And all of this happening here, and SSU still has fairly control of the zone now. It looks like they are going to be able to secure it once again, and they're still trying to fight their way through this penalty. Albie is back though, the wreck some havoc, but 3 down from the Llamas. We have 1 minute to go. SSU has found themselves in a position where they are starting to once again find a lockout. They have strikes online to potentially force something here. They're almost out of their penalty, and they would still have about like 44, 45 points left to make something happen here. Do or die from SSU here in game 2.
And the important thing here, folks, is that first pick from SSU Esports was against the brush, meaning that they have a bit of time here to try and maintain control mid here, but no, the Llamas does come in, and they flush SSU Esports out. Missiles comes out from SSU Esports to try and scatter the Llamas out, but it may not be enough here. Tactical are online at the ready. It's just a bloodbath here in mid, as these two teams are trying every single card, using every single trick, and it's Albie, the last man standing on the Llamas, and they get the pick. They get another pick on a rampage. Their zone is still in control at the end of the final 5 seconds. I don't think the SSU Esports can come in time and take this game as the Llamas takes game number 2.
And once again with the game on the line. Albie is gonna be coming through for Newmont College of Computer Science and the Llamas, as they are now one game away from an elusive Division 4 championship here. And this one was such a nail biter. Really felt like SSU could have crawled their way back after being down so many points to begin with. But time after time again, the brush play, finding all these picks, especially near the end when it matters most.
It's that brush player from the Llamas who is causing SSU so much trouble. They were the only ones standing from the Llamas at the very end there. SSU had the player advantage at the end, but the Albie was still able to fight back against them and take that game home. I've never seen anything like that.
Speaking of things we haven't seen in a while, haven't raised back, we have merch for CCA, and this is awesome here. You asked for it, CCA listens. The CCA merch shop is once again open for business. Browse both new and familiar sticker designs, as well as a new CCA Circuit t-shirt. Shop is open until January 15th, so order today. And after these games that we are seeing here, you want all of the memorabilia to remember what's been a phenomenal season, phenomenal semester.
And this circuit's proving to be the show that this circuit merch, you have to get that, man. To remember all these important stuff here. And this, I want to remind you folks, this is just Division 4. There's like 3 other streams going on at the same time, going through their games to just highlight all the amazing things these players have been doing. I'm plugging my stats once again. 148 teams that have gone through this, and these other teams that are last ones standing here. This is a big deal. This is buy the merch. Just buy the merch, man.
Yeah, buy the merch. The links are in chat. Be sure to do that. I think we'll be doing that right after Grant ends. And who knows? Yes, Newmont is up 2-0 here, 1 game away, but this wouldn't feel like a story if we didn't see something big happen here at SSU. They knew that if it was going to come down to the season on the line, Rainmaker was going to be their option here. And now SSU, Sonoma State, we're going to Rainmaker Crab Leg to potentially be the last game, but SSU probably has some other thoughts here. They're trying to force this all the way to a Game 5 and reset the bracket.
At this point of this set here, folks, SSU Esports are on their last lifeline, last life. One more loss, and that's it for them. There will be no bracket reset here. They have such a monumental mountain for them to climb if they want to at least take this to a bracket reset against SSU Esports. The next 3 games, they have to win here, but you gotta also take things one game at a time. Plan for the future, but can at least see your next step that you're going to be taking here. And right now, this next step is just being able to beat out the Llamas in Rainmaker.
We see a brush coming out from SSU this time to kind of just counteract what Albie is having as well. So we get the brush duel here. So this is going to be phenomenal. As you see, Yukari now just trying to help create some insane frontline havoc now. And you see them trying to navigate around. A lot of neutral game being played here. And we see a brush fight potentially there. Not going to happen yet, but the whale is going to be coming out from Albie. Quite a few options being displayed here. And Albie trying to find some more picks. And look at this. A 3 down from SSU. Maybe a wipe. No, getting shut down in the process, but the Llamas have control of the Rainmaker and breakthrough check.
That's going to be a delayed wipe too. The heavy hitter does go down right before they can jump out and escape with their lives. And then Esports are down 2 players here. Llamas are getting ready for yet another push. Rainmaker about to be popped. They have the player advantage here. It is 3 down for SSU Esports. They're going to be able to take that Rainmaker to jump in and be able to try and make a breakaway for that final checkpoint. This could be it. If this team fight does not go off to SSU Esports, tactical or online for the Llamas, it's going to be 1 team fight and 1 team fight that's going to decide this game here.
Oh, strikes. Oh, and the strikes from SSU once again coming clutch. Lily, though, staying alive here as well as most of the Llamas. 2 down now from the SSU here. The Llamas are trying to make 1 final push, but you see Radio Ghost coming in clutch on defense here. But we see Albie up there in top left perch trying to see something here. They get shut down in the process, getting a little greedy. But now SSU has a little bit of breathing room, but it doesn't feel like a lot, especially with the Llamas starting to add some extra pressure.
Esports are taking a little bit of breather, knowing that their run is going to end here in the next few moments. As this Rainmaker is going to be reset, this Rainmaker has to be taken out of their side of the spawn. But no, does go down for Llamas. SCU Esports are gearing up for their own push here. As the Ally is here, just holding onto this checkpoint as best they can. But the Tri-Strike is going to be forced to back out. No! How did they live in the middle of all those strikes? Just out of nowhere, they take one, they take two, potentially a third here, folks! That is impossible!
And now Albie hears impossible and makes anything possible. And the Llamas once again, through great play from Lily Strikes, as well as the rest of the Llamas, just putting on so much pressure, making it so difficult for SSU to break through a checkpoint here. And now the Rainmaker finds itself resetting back into mid here. The SSU, they have some time. They were able to cut into the lead a bit. They just got to get through that checkpoint now, trying to see if they're going to be able to stay alive. But once again, the Llamas are forcing SSU into a 3-down situation here, trying to find a wipe. Only one member left now. And you see Albie going in, trying to get that fourth member, and gets the assist with some great team play now, and sharking up into this base. And the Llamas once again have control of the Rainmaker, as Albie once again with that brush getting shut down this time. But you see the Llamas are within distance one more time.
The Restarter is used there to try and clear some space for the Rainmaker, but the Rainmaker was unfortunately pushed back onto the ledge and forced to drop back into mid here from SSU Esports as they get the one pay from the jump in. They have the player advantage here to get ready for this upcoming push. 1 minute 45 seconds remaining. That's all SSU Esports have left, and they want to stay alive for a little bit longer. They have to use every second to the best of their ability as they're going in for this right checkpoint without too much potential here. It's only the It's only the Rainmaker who does get picked up, but the Sniper Rider doesn't pick out the Rainmaker, meaning it is dropped once again.
Yeah, and Lily doing such a great job with that slosher, maximizing the range, being able to pick out the members of SSU. The missiles are coming in once again, but the Rainmaker is in a really awkward position here if you are Sonoma State. NCCS trying to do what they can here. Dr. Lion now from SSU popping those strikes, trying to see what else is going to be happening. We're in the last minute of the game. Rainmaker finally breaks through a checkpoint from SSU here, and now it's a matter of seeing SSU. This is their mode. They're trying to see if they can make something happen here in this final minute. The Slider coming in, finds one as well, and now it's a matter of finding a second, and this is looking really good here for NCCS in this last minute.
2 for 1 here. The brush gets another 2 for 1 in return. What good? What's almost catastrophic here for SSU Esports as even the tides once again as the Llamas are down a huge amount of players here as SSU Esports are rushing for that Rainmaker. They do not want to let anything go here, folks, as they were headed to the final 30 seconds of this game. They do have their Rainmaker, and they're going to be trying to play it slow, getting 2 down for the Llamas as SSU Esports are finally going to be able to get a push up. They do get pushed up, but no, they unfortunately were a little bit too eager as Albie just comes in and gets a wipe out. With that cleanup, I believe that's going to seal their fate as the Llamas start pretty much anime. Stall SSU Esports and takes this game, making them your grand champions!
And it looks like that's the dagger. No member of SSU is close enough. It looks like the Rainmaker isn't going to pop. And as we've been seeing, NCCS with an insane run through finals has won Division 4 of the Circuit Finals, bringing it home to the Newmont College of Computer Science.
Man, oh man. That game really just showed exactly why Llamas made it this far, why the Llamas are here, and we're able to... I think literally just most of this just kind of crumbles down to Albie with the insane rush plays time and time again. When pressure was stacked up against Llamas and things were looking grim, that Albie was able to just keep it locked down and push through all of that madness.
There was so much there, yeah, and the Llamas as a whole, what an incredible team they've shown. The team play was insane because we highlighted a lot of always play, but you have players like Lily on the saucer offering that extra range to help out as well, and sometimes that's all you need, just that extra. The team play from NCCS was impeccable. What a great sequence for them. Well-deserved win for the Llamas, but SSU, yes, they didn't. They got second place, but what a phenomenal run all the way from losers, getting all the way to grands and making a lot of those games really close.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be proud of yourself at the very least for making it second in Division 4. There's nothing you cannot be upset about. You made it this far. You made it to Grand Finals. You fought through losers bracket to make it to this point. Like that, SSU Esports, you've done extraordinary things here today, regardless of what the final outcome might be. You can't. Sure, losing Grand Finals stings a little bit. It's always gonna sting, but take the victories where you can. Be proud of what you did. Second place. That's so good for you guys.
Yeah, and really, my favorite thing about Division 4, really the lower divisions of CCA, this is where you start to see like the
Mhm.
futures of the rest of the scene really start to shine. And both of these teams, both of these programs, there's a lot of great stuff here. Or like you saw the gameplay there. That's not exactly reminiscent of D4, what you typically associate as like low level, the bottom division, the entry level. That is some great gameplay there. You saw the coordination from both teams, the clutch factors,
Mhm.
especially even the mental game of like, yeah, we might be down and we have a big lead to work our way through, but they fought through that. Both of these teams have such a bright future. I'm so excited to see them return in the spring, as well
Mhm.
as maybe even make their name in like other tournaments here within Splatoon.
Mhm. Yeah, you had to start somewhere. Like there is a starting point for everyone, and make doing what you did today for Llamas is an extraordinary way to try and launch yourself even further. And for SSU Esports, you can use this to fuel yourself to try and push further. Use your defeats to fuel your success. There is a winning point for everyone here, no matter what division. This could be Division 1 finals, and I'd still be saying the same thing because it's the matter of fact is it's true. You have these experience to push you forward and make your name for yourself. And why do you? I mean, why do you think I always come back to this? I love seeing these teams just come back time and time again and prove their worth.
Yeah, and proving their worth indeed is what we saw. And really, a lot of every team here in D4, just like amazing stuff. But
Mhm.
gotta mention it. There's still 3 streams going on today.
Mhm.
3 more divisions here, and, like, if you thought D4 was exciting, we got D3, D2, D1, a lot of amazing stuff. Grand finals are going on, CCA main Twitch, D1 grand finals, death roll against VCU, Big Fat Sea Cows, should be insane there. I'm so excited, so definitely wanna be tuning into every other stream that's happening right now.
Yeah, no, this is just 1/4 of what is going on here today, folks. 4 divisions who are still well now 3 divisions who are still going through their grand finals. It could go either way with how explosive this season has been, and I will be watching once we wrap up here, folks. But that being said, we do have to wrap up. That is unfortunately going to be the end of not just our block, but our season here together, folks.
Yeah, Dark, absolute pleasure casting with you. Where can the great people of this community find you?
Oh, as I mentioned time and time again, you can find me in most places: Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, Twitch at SPF_dark. I just repost a bunch of random nonsense. I also am a big time caster where I cast stuff on a weekly from either here CCA, Splatoon Tourney when it's a season, Under Pressure, Double Productions. You'll hear me once a week somewhere in some tournament. And where can they find you, Spicy?
You can find me on various socials at 2SpicyBM, whether it be Twitter or Blue Sky. You can also find me on streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/spicy_BM. Like Dark, you'll find me around the scene doing other tournaments. I got the high school league in Washington State. That final's coming up. Shout out to Wasia on Tuesday. But you can also find me around like Splatoon tourney, other tournaments as well, whenever the other things.
Casting with you, Spicy. Huge shout outs to Neptune behind the scenes, working the
Mhm.
cam, working our site, our stream here today. None of this could be happening without our streamers. So we got to give them some spotlight. Neptune, I love you, buddy. But anyway, folks, check out the other streams. Once we'll be going offline here, but that doesn't mean our other streams are offline as well. Go find them. See who's gonna win Division 3. See who's gonna win Division 2. See who's gonna win Division 1. There's still a lot of action to be had here, but folks, it's been a pleasure and have a good day.